What is up, Buffalo Fanatics? Z-Bot here with you, live on the Buffalo Fanatics YouTube channel on a Victory Monday night. And that, of course, can only mean one thing. It is the smoke break. So good to have you in. Fresh off the Buffalo Bills' fifth victory of the 2025 season, dominating the Carolina Panthers 40-9, securing Sean McDermott's perfect streak off the bye week, avoiding an unprecedented third consecutive loss, moving to 5-2, heading into the game of the year as it always is. A massive showdown with the Kansas City Chiefs in Week 9 in Buffalo, coming your way in less than a week this upcoming Sunday. Speaking of those Kansas City Chiefs, they are doing battle tonight with a Jaden Daniels-less Washington Commanders team. The Chiefs are a 11-point favorite in that game, so should anticipate the Chiefs get a W before taking on Buffalo this upcoming week. That game is massive for all the reasons it always is. One seed, playoff implications, really to just get an idea of what these two teams look like against one another before they inevitably wind up playing each other again, as they always do in the postseason. But tonight we'll talk more about what we saw on the field out in Carolina in Week 8. The Bills win by 31, and they needed to come out and have a statement like they did. It was so refreshing to see. As I said on the post game yesterday, it's exactly what the doctor ordered. We'll dive deeper into that. We got a great show for you this evening. It won't just be me. A couple of guests coming on to hang out with me on the smoke break on a Victory Monday evening. My main man, Rev, will join me tonight to break down what we saw in the Bills-Panthers game. We will also have Doc be joining us to give us all the latest in terms of the Buffalo Bills injury report. And, of course, talking about the news that broke this afternoon. Ed Oliver, the worst was essentially confirmed. The bicep tear that was being floated around yesterday after he had sustained that injury that caused him to leave the game against Carolina. It was rumored at the time that it was a bicep tear that could potentially lead to him missing the season. An MRI this afternoon has confirmed it. Sean McDermott came out earlier this afternoon alerting the media and Bills fans alike that Ed Oliver will be out indefinitely with a bicep tear. The MRI confirmed it, so he's out indefinitely, which is a major blow. It does suck. You know, you had Ed Oliver come out, look phenomenal in that Ravens game, gets hurt, misses a handful of games, finally back healthy. Now it's a different injury. So it sucks. Ed Oliver, of course, a cornerstone of this defense. They're a better defense with him out there, and he had some special moments this season despite being out there in a limited capacity. He will not be out there for the foreseeable future. What that looks like, that's to be determined, whether or not he'll be available in the postseason, and if so, when in the postseason. We'll ask Doc those questions. We'll also get an update on Dalton Kincaid. He was seen after the game with his knee wrapped. We'll ask Doc about that. Also, rumors being floated around online about Josh Allen. Is he somewhat banged up? Is that potentially the reason why he's looked off? We'll ask Doc. We'll get his comments on that. That's pure speculation, but maybe there's something there that Doc sees that maybe we don't know. So that's all coming your way on the smoke break this evening. Also, what we're going to do this evening that I'm looking forward to. So many positives to take away from that Bills-Panthers game. And really, when you win 40-9, it's hard to look at the negatives. It really is. But, you know, when we went into the bye coming off of two consecutive losses, all of us fans, I think we were all in agreement that we wanted to not only see a victory over Carolina, but we wanted to see the wrongs be written, right? We wanted to see things in certain aspects be turned around noticeably in that spot on Sunday afternoon. You wanted to see better out of the defense. You wanted to see more from the run game. Not that the run game hasn't been great. It has. You wanted to see them continue to feed Cook, though. We had saw in that Falcons game that James Cook, it seemed like there were moments where it was working, but they didn't go to it as frequently as you would hope. Wasn't on the field as much in the second half. We wanted to see more of giving the ball to what is right now your best offensive player the way that he's playing. This offense currently is going through number 4 in the red, white, and blue. This is James Cook's offense right now. This is the way that this offense is being operated, and it's how they're scoring points, and it's how they're moving the ball down the field. Now you have 19 carries, 216 yards, 2 touchdowns. It's hard not to continuously give that guy the ball. I mean, he was averaging over 11 yards per carry in this game. I mean, in fact, the performance from James Cook was so unprecedented. It was the best running game an individual running back had in Buffalo in 50 years. And on top of that, it was historic in terms of how he did it. Next Gen Stats says that James Cook finished with 216 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns on 19 carries against the Panthers, becoming only the 4th player in NFL history with 215 plus rushing yards and 2 plus rushing touchdowns on fewer than 20 carries in a game. The 3 others, Bobby Mitchell, a Hall of Famer, Bo Jackson, a Hall of Famer, and future Hall of Famer, Derrick Henry. That is the company James Cook joins with the performance that he had against the Carolina Panthers in Week 8. I mean, it wasn't just a one-off. That was an unreal performance. And when you factor in, he did that with less than 20 carries. When you factor in that he barely played in the 4th quarter, I'm not kidding you when I say that the pace James Cook was on in that game, if they had continued to give him the ball throughout the 4th, say they didn't put the backups in, and for whatever reason they kept laying the lead foot on the pedal, I really do think there's a world where he gets close to 300 yards. If he would have had, he's averaging 11 yards a carry. He has 19 carries. So just do the math. If he would have had 8, 9 more carries, 7, 8 carries, we're talking a game in the likes of which we've never seen outside of the college level. And it's still that's still maybe a once every couple of year type performance. So all the positives, right? But what we're going to do tonight, the big talk, it's this passing game. Of course it is. Even when you win 40-9, you look at it and you say, look at this passing game is not what we've come to expect from an MVP-led offense. This passing game is not what we've come to expect with 17 manning the ship. What's the issue? Is it Allen? Is it the receivers? Is it Joe Brady? Is it a combination of both? Well, I've gone through and I have rewatched each and every one of Josh Allen's pass attempts in the Week 8 game against the Carolina Panthers. We're going to do that again on the show. We are going to watch each and every pass attempt and break it down because there's so many different takes on this. Wide receivers can't get open. I mean, what do you expect Josh Allen to do? What the hell is this guy supposed to do? Nobody's open. Well, no, Joe Brady, he can't coach. Get rid of him. Let him go and take a job in college or take another one of these head coaching jobs that'll open up inevitably at the end of the year. The multiple college opportunities opening up. Let him go. Or Josh Allen, man, like just completely regressed. Is it him? I'll give you a hint. It is a combination of all of these things. But to what degree? That's what we're going to take a look at. Because there are noticeable issues with this pass offense that I think all fans are well aware of. The one thing that I'm wondering now is are they aware of it in the building? And I don't know how they couldn't be, yet for some reason it seems to be a topic that's not a concern to those who are in the midst of it. Joe Brady's asked about this afternoon during his press conference. And Joe Brady says, quote, "I have no concerns in the passing game. That wasn't how the game needed to be won yesterday." That's true. You won the football game scoring 40 points with James Cook having an historic day on the ground, and your defense had 7 sacks, balled out, and held one of the better running attacks in check. That's true. You didn't need to throw the ball against the Carolina Panthers to win the football game. But here's the thing. You did throw the football 19 times. And when you did throw the football, it wasn't all that impressive. And it certainly was not a pass game that reflects what we've come to know from a Josh Allen-led offense. And it wasn't just the Panthers game. It is now multiple games, numerous games, more games than not during this 2025 season. Josh Allen's asked about it in his press conference post-game after the Panthers game. Says there's no concern at all about the pass game. Now, I'll give him and Brady, I'll give them a little bit of a leash here. What are you supposed to say? Yeah, no, we're screwed. We can't throw the ball. Things are terrible. We've regressed completely. It's awful. It's unfixable. No. But the idea that they are completely steadfast in the mindset of it not being a problem at all, I think that you can drop some context clues within your response to let you know that there's things that need to be improved on. And I think that's really all you can say, right? I think if you're asked if there's problems with, or do you think there's a concern with the pass game? I think you can say, look, we need to improve in a variety of areas. We're always looking to get better. You know how it goes. These PR positive responses that all these guys are A+ at saying. Now, one of those PR responses is saying there isn't a problem at all. I get that. But I also think one of the ways that you can combat that, based on the fact that everybody knows that this pass game is not up to snuff right now, I think one of the proper responses could easily be, look, we got to improve in a variety of areas. Obviously, this game in particular against Carolina, we won this game on the ground. We didn't really need to pass in this game. That's why maybe you didn't see the best passing game of all time from us. But it's no secret that, of course, we need to improve in a variety of areas, passing being one of them. We need to improve everywhere. I mean, that's the response. I think the response being, quote, I have no concerns in the passing game. I got to throw my hands up on that one a little bit, because right now, like 1/4 of the passing game is screen passes. Another quarter of the passing game is balls thrown from the line of scrimmage to 5, 6, 7 yards out. Anything down the field is virtually non-existent. On top of that, you do have your mix of wide receivers not being able to get open, and also Josh Allen missing guys when they do get open. There's more than just one issue here. So clearly there are multiple issues. This idea that there's no concern at all, that's something that I got to believe it when I see it. We now have, 3 consecutive games with a bye in between that has shown you, yeah, there's some noticeable concern here, where the majority of our pass game is dump offs and screens. Anything beyond that, non-existent. Clearly right now we have not had a wide receiver that's been able to separate from the pack. We do not have a wide receiver that really threatens anybody at this point. We haven't seen Josh Allen do many Josh Allen-esque things since that Ravens game. And we're also seeing we're also seeing on any given down, the play being called be a play that, it's just you dump it off and you get 3 yards and you move on. So there are certainly noticeable elements of this offense right now in the pass game that I think anybody watching the game would say, man, this doesn't feel like last year, or this just doesn't feel particularly right. We're going to dive into it. We're going to talk about what we see in each and every pass attempt, and we'll make our own conclusion, because I think that there's several conclusions to be drawn. All right, we'll get to that in just a bit. For now, it's time to talk injuries. It's time to do the thigh dance. Get ready. TD's about to join the show. Here he is, folks, looking as good as ever. Thigh Doc, show us what you got, baby. Yep, come on. Those are the 5-inch inseams.
What's up?
Now, are those 5-inch seams there on the shorts, or 3? What are we rocking these days?
No, these are the usual. Just got them pulled up for you.
Have you ever been approached by chubbies? They don't want to do anything with you?
I got one pair. I got the swimsuit.
No, but they don't want to collab. I mean, I just feel like you were born to be their guy, and that's just because I'm a huge chubby guy. It's all I own.
Yeah, I don't know. Guess my chubby's not big enough.
Well, listen, we keep getting you bigger and bigger. Next thing you know, you're gonna be doing the runway with the chubbies on. All right, let's dive into it. First and foremost, Ed Oliver. And by the way, I've been telling everybody I can. I mean, shout out to you. I always say, Thigh Doc does not want to be right. when he comes out and says these things, right? I mean, and I know this is a common misconception when Doc gives his initial analysis, and it's not what anybody wants to hear. You don't want to hear it, therefore you get mad about it. But you've been absolutely on fire. You take a look at Ed Oliver's injury in real time, and you pretty much knocked it completely out of the park, even though, of course, you wish you would have struck out on it. But it is a bicep tear confirmed by the MRI. Ed Oliver out indefinitely. Talk to me about this injury and what this entails, not only for his immediate future, but, of course, what this is going to look like long-term as well for Ed Oliver.
Okay. Good news is long-term is a non-issue.
Okay.
Great return to play, good results, no drop-off in strength, no drop-off in career length. It is a slam dunk surgery. The problem is the return to play. How quick can you get back? And we're looking at 15 weeks until the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Now, I would say the Super Bowl is a lock. He is a lock for the Super Bowl. He'll come back. Matt Milano came back 15 and a half weeks last year, started practicing a couple weeks earlier. These guys will wear a brace. It'll stop their elbow from getting pulled out and getting it lengthened, potentially re-rupturing it. There's still a huge risk coming back that early. However, at about 15 weeks, 4, 8, 12, 16, you're just between 3.5 and 4 months. That's probably as early as a surgeon will let you play. Early in the playoffs, though, I don't think it would happen wild card weekend. Divisional even would be 11 and a half weeks. And then AFC Championship, potentially. But putting this guy out there that early, you're risking him re-rupturing it. So I don't think they would do that in a AFC Championship game, but I think they would do it in the Super Bowl.
So for all intents and purposes, really, this is a season ender here for Ed Oliver.
Yeah. I'd say AFC Championship, maybe. Super Bowl, we do it, but, we got to get there first.
Yeah, and you even wonder at that point, should you make the Super Bowl if it's worth putting him out there off the injury? Because at that point, obviously, whatever you've had manning the ship on the D-line has gotten you to the Super Bowl, and then you factor in him coming off of that injury, that being his first game back, would it even be worth putting him in? So it seems as though this is going to be season ender. But talk to me about the fact that it's not a long-term issue. What is it about that injury that you look at and say this should not affect him down the road here?
It's like a 95% return to play rate. So guys who get this, they come back. The surgery does well. It just has good results. Strength-wise, it's a secondary muscle. I mean, a lot of the pulling is your back muscles, and then bicep is secondary. But the big thing is twisting, turning, gripping. Obviously, that's all things you got to do at the D-line level. And then tackling, you don't want that elbow to get stretched. You'd be stretching the muscle. They just reattach, so that could rupture it. So again,
unfortunate. I mean, it's a guy who just can't stay healthy. Once again, it feels like the Bills defense, unfortunately, has a lot of playmakers that just cannot get out of the way of an injury. I know San Francisco 49ers feel very similarly that way, where it just feels like year in and year out, your top guys constantly getting hurt. Now, this is a different injury, of course, to the one that Oliver suffered earlier in the year that had him miss a couple of games, but we wish him a speedy recovery. Luckily, from what you're saying, it's good that it's not a long-term thing that won't hinder him in the future here, but it does suck to have him miss the remainder of the season. It looks like Michael Hoyt back playing really well off that suspension, so that is good in terms of being able to come in and kind of carry the load a bit. Let's transition to the offensive side of the ball. Dalton Kincaid, right, hurt, misses the game prior to the bye. Yeah. And then you're seeing him out there against the Panthers, only one catch. And I don't think it's a secret right now. Dalton Kincaid, he's the top target on this offense. I mean, Khalil Shakir had a great day against Carolina, but it's seeming as though as the weeks have gone on, at least this season, Kincaid's developing into that top guy. Only one target, and then we see him post-game picture with his family that's circulated online. He's got a gigantic wrap-up on his leg right around the knee area. What do you make of that? What do you make of Kincaid right now in his health?
Yeah, so 14 snaps. That's very light. Yeah. Now I get the score effects. Didn't have to put him in, so I don't know if they had planned on putting him in a couple more plays, more crucial situations. Throw him out there on third down. But the obliques take a couple weeks. 2 to 4. He was at 3, I believe, because he missed the previous game. So obviously can still be hampering him. But then you go and see him only rip off 14 snaps, and then he's got a huge ice pack on his left knee. That's the knee he had the PCL injury on last year. So you can make a case. His knee still bothers him. And he's also working through the oblique injury. Do I think it is like sound the alarm issue? No. Longevity wise on that knee, I'm be a little worried about that. But another week where he had limited snaps, he can hopefully rest up a little more, and we can get the full Dalton Kincaid against the Chiefs here.
You think that's possible this upcoming week, just based on what you make of that knee?
Yeah, barring that he aggravated his oblique, and that's why he played the 14 snaps. I would like to think that they were just holding him back and kind of just using him situationally to rest him up for one more week. I'm hoping.
It felt like that. And it felt like that a little bit with him almost being a decoy in a way. You could feel his presence be missed in that Atlanta game. Speaking of that Atlanta game, Josh Palmer, it felt like he was going to be the focal point of that game. Early on, they go to him deep. It looked like they were going to try to have him be the guy to go to with Kincaid being absent. Then he gets hurt, of course, right off the bat in that game. Ankle injury. We didn't see him out on the field yesterday. When can we expect to see him? What's the situation with that injury and how you see it affecting him moving forward?
Yeah, so he's got a high ankle sprain and he's got an MCL sprain in the same knee. They listed him for knee and ankle. I mean, you need a month for the high ankle. You need 2 to 4 weeks for an MCL. These are general. I mean, obviously there's a lot of gray area. Some people can come back in 3 weeks, but a lot of times they need 4, especially a skill player. What do I think? I don't think he plays against the Chiefs. That if you want my opinion, okay. But look for him to come back the next week. The other big one is Daquan Jones. Now, when guys go down at a position, usually that has to speed them up. Do I think you want to play Daquan Jones on 3 weeks rest on a calf? Probably not. If he's good enough, he wouldn't be the first calf to come back in 3 weeks, though. So I would see them putting a little more pressure on Daquan to play this week. But I think Palmer needs another week. But, hey, Wednesday injury report, if these guys are out there limited, that's promising. Obviously, you want to see them ramped up to full on Friday. But time will tell.
Taylor Rapp obviously placed on the IR with his knee injury. Did that shock you at all that it resulted in an IR placement?
I don't know. The whole thing seems a little shady with that one. So, obviously it looked like they wanted to bench him and then to put him on the IR. It'd be more convincing if we hear that he had his knee scoped and he had to get a cleanup procedure. That would make more sense. But to shut him down for 4 weeks for a non-operative knee condition is a little odd.
Definitely did seem that way. Plus, like you mentioned, it did feel as though there was a clamoring for a change at the position. I mean, I don't know how it operates and whether or not you would utilize the IR in that way, but I guess when you are hurt and you need him to heal up, I guess that's the opportunity to go ahead and get him healed while seeing what else you have. I mean, we saw, Poyer, and I think we saw Jordan Hancock play pretty damn well against Carolina, especially Hancock with an amazing crackdown tackle on what would have been a touchdown for Rico Dowdle there. We know this team struggles with tackling up until this point. It looked better against Carolina. So we'll keep an eye out on that, obviously out for at least 4 weeks. Lastly, before I let you go, just because this is pure speculation, but I have seen this enough on Twitter to where I feel like it warrants asking you about it. So people want to chalk up Josh Allen's, I don't know what the right term here to be, offness, I guess. People want to try and rule this all out or sort of justify this because of maybe a pseudo injury that no one is aware of. From what you can see from him and from what you've seen him endure this season, obviously the broken nose, we've seen him bang up his left hand. Do you think that there's anything that could potentially be hindering him physically that could be leading into potential regression in gameplay as a result?
So what has he had this year? He's had the broken nose, but the visor was off, so I'd assume that's healed up. He did take a shot to his head a couple weeks ago, I think early in the Patriots game. I don't know, could have shook him up a little bit. We got him banging his knee in the Patriots game. He limped on it for a little bit in that game too. And then he's taking some hits. So if he's going down on his right shoulder, he had the pseudo-documented AC joint a couple years ago. I think he suffered that during that Giants game that we kind of squeezed out at the end. And with that said, potentially could have aggravated an AC joint. It's screwing up his throwing. The knee might be affecting his mobility. The hit to the head might have scrambled him up a little bit. But what I think is more going on is he's unraveled a little bit with the turnovers, and I think he's being extra careful. Like that, the Moore one, the Elijah Moore one that he missed was kind of like appalling. But if you look at it, like the cornerbacks kind of in the window, he'd have to get it over his head. So I think he might be playing a little conservative, a little worried about the turnovers. So he's kind of got to get like his mojo back. I think it's more mojo than injury in the moral of the story.
I would agree. I just had to ask because it feels like with him being the Iron Man that he is, you never really know if he's banged up. And I don't think he would be the first to tell you if he was, right? Just because of the guy that he is. So I think it's fair to question it just because you never see the guy get hurt. And you have to imagine the way that he plays, he's susceptible to getting banged up. It's just a matter of, to what degree. All right, before I let you bounce, what'd you make of yesterday? And what do you make of this upcoming week? Obviously, it's the game of the year every year. How are you feeling about it based on what you saw against Carolina?
Well, I would feel a lot better if the pass game was firing on all cylinders. I think the defense has a pseudo fix, but then you kind of get a kick in the nuts there with Ed Oliver getting knocked out. Still, I'm more optimistic about the way the defense is looking with, you got Ojanobi and Hoyt playing pretty well, Hoyt playing real well.
Yeah.
And, Shaq Thompson really kind of holding down middle linebacker right now. So we're going to be healthier. We're going to have the linebackers back next week. I don't know if that's better or worse if they have to take Shaq off the field because he's been playing pretty good, in my opinion. But besides that, Hairston got some reps. That was surprising.
Yeah.
Don't know why we didn't open his 21-day window earlier if you were going to bring him back this week. But I like that he got some game reps going into the Chiefs game, which he can platoon off of and hopefully maybe be out there from some crucial situations. As far for the Chiefs, obviously there's some fear. They seem to be running out all cylinders. I think their defense has regressed a little bit, but their offense has progressed. With that said, game's still in Buffalo. I'm going to the game.
Yes,
so
sir.
I think the Bills are going to win.
It's simply put.
Should be epic.
I agree with you completely. Though. I feel like where the defense has regressed a bit, the offense has improved, and it feels like it's kind of just even those two things out. So we'll see. They're massive favorites tonight. I would imagine they win. It's just next week, it's so crucial for the 1 seed, I would imagine. But then again, it might not be if the Indianapolis Colts, who everybody thought, of course, was a lock for the 1 seed, continues to play the way that they are. That's what's killing me right now. I can't believe it. I keep wanting to say the AFC is wide open, but if that team continues to play the way they are, I don't know. But you're going to the game this upcoming week, so that's good.
We're one game behind the Colts. Obviously, I see it when I believe it, or believe it when I see it with the Colts. You know what I mean? Even though the run game's awesome, I don't know. They give me those Titan vibes from a couple years ago when the Titans got the first seed. They were like a run team. They got to the playoffs and they just got murdered. So I just wouldn't put a ton of stock in Daniel Jones following through with this all the way through. But good for them. They're hot right now.
If he does, we officially got to throw out everything we've ever known about football. I mean, it's just completely ruining me right now. It's crazy. ThigDoc, nobody gets better. He is the GOAT. It's at ThigDoc on Twitter. You already follow him, but for some insane reason you don't, make sure to go check him out. Not only great analysis, but a top tier memes, whatever, everything in between. He's got it all. Go check him out. Thigh, thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
I miss you. Just hang out soon, okay?
I know. Listen, maybe come and help me deliver the baby in a couple weeks. I'll give you a ring. Maybe you can drive us to the hospital.
Yeah.
All right.
Wrap that umbilical cord on my thigh.
Listen.
Quite the video.
Yeah. Look, you'll get the you get the circulation up to snuff, right? You get kind of
Make sure you save that placenta.
I think Caroline would love it if I don't tell her, and then as she's as we're like this close, she just looks in the corner and you're thying it out. Just kind of trying to take the stress down a little bit.
By the way, ThigDoc's here.
All right, brother. Well, hey, until then, be on standby. I'll be calling.
Right. Love you. Take care.
All right, brother. Love you too. That is ThigDoc. He is the best in the business. He nailed the Ed Oliver injury. I mean, to a T. Obviously, when that happens, you're hoping he's wrong, but unfortunately, ThigDoc's a little too good at his job, and he's usually dead on. And when you do see ThigDoc and come out, he comes out and says, I'm thinking this is going to be long term. More often than not, it is. So speedy recovery we hope for Ed Oliver. It's just unfortunate constant injury there. It's come almost like Matt Milano at this point, where some of these guys just cannot seem to avoid it. But thanks to Ty Doc, as always, nobody better in the business at giving us our Buffalo Bills injury updates. We switch from one guest to another. My main man, who joined me on the pregame yesterday, we were both hoping for a W. We were hoping for a prolific performance. We got both those things. Now it's time to recap it together. It is my man, Rev, brother. Previewing the game yesterday.
What's up?
We got what we asked for. We got what we asked for. We haven't got your initial thoughts yet, so the floor is yours right as I bring you in. What did you make of that domination in Carolina on Sunday afternoon?
You like that? You like that? Man, look. Hey, that was an incredible victory by the Bills, man. Like, that was the kind of game we needed to see. Well, let me put it this way. Not necessarily the game. That was a kind of result, okay? I'll be more specific about that. The result, Bills winning 40-9. Like I needed to see some type of domination against an inferior team, even though I didn't expect it to happen.
Right.
So I feel better about that, and now we can kind of get this monkey off of our backs, right? This 2-game losing streak. Everybody's questioning what's going on in one Bills drive. We feel a lot better now. However, when we talk about the way in which they won. I'm happy with them pounding the rock against the Panthers the way they did. I'm sure you probably spoken about it. And we'll get to talking about the passing game, which still kind of gives me a little reason for pause here, a little apprehension here. But nevertheless, they did what they had to do in order to win the game, and Joe Brady just kept spamming the heck out of the toss, left toss, right toss. Over and over and over again. And the Panthers, they had no answer. They couldn't stop it. And so, if you can't stop it, why change it? You know what I'm saying? If the wheel ain't broke, why fix it? And they just went back to the wheel over and over again. And the Bills and James Cook just ran the ball down the throats. I was actually hoping they would let him try to get the record. Fourth quarter, he was up, 200 yards. I was like, yo, get the brother the record. Let him go for it. After the end of the game, he was saying, "Hey, I feel good. I could still play." And so it was good to see, man. Especially seeing Josh Allen sit the majority of the fourth quarter was great. I really don't have a lot to complain about. We won resoundingly, and so now all eyes and our attention is focused now, dead set on the Kansas City Chiefs and what the Bills can do against that game, against that team who is on fire right now. But nevertheless, man, I'm excited for the win, and it was a big win at that. Big dubs for the Buffalo Bills, baby.
Big win indeed. It's exactly what we needed to see. It's what we wanted to see. I was a little apprehensive to predict it. I really did think the Bills were going to come out and win the football game, but based on what I had saw the 2 weeks prior to the bye in those 2 consecutive losses, I just did not have the confidence to predict that type of victory. And I'm glad that they reinstilled that in me and many of us, because that was what we needed to see. Obviously we would have taken a W after losing 2 straight, but to be able to win the way that they did and to be able to prove to us that some of the areas of concern were not a concern, at least for now, in that particular game. I look at this defense as the biggest standout of everything, just because you if you were to have gone up against a team that was incapable of running the football and you have that type of performance, that's one thing. But when you go up against the Carolina Panthers, who have been the best rushing football team in the NFL for the last month, and you hold them to what you did while also adding 7 sacks into the mix and holding them to 9 points, that was impressive. And nobody was more impressive in that department than Michael Hoyt in his debut, fresh off of his suspension. First game back, based on everything he was talking about, Rev, you could tell how fired up he was to be back. Here's the stat line that Michael Hoyt finishes with in his Bills debut. 1.5 sacks, 3 tackles, one of which was for a loss, 1 quarterback hit, and a forced fumble. Not a bad day at the office for a guy who was wearing the Bills uniform for the first time ever. And it wasn't just Michael Hoyt that was getting in on the fun. 7 total sacks. Everybody, it felt like, Rev, was in on the sack parade in this particular game. But when you're looking at the analytics, list has come out from Sunday. Top 10 defensive EPA contributors, meaning the top 10 defensive plays that contributed the most to EPA. based on tackles, interceptions, forced fumbles, recoveries, defensive stuff. Of the top 10, the Buffalo Bills had 3 of their D linemen featured within it.
Wow.
Michael Hoyt, third. AJ Epinesa, who had an extraordinary outing, including a top-tier interception that was an inch away from being a pick six. And Greg Rousseau, who really set the tone, Rev, early on with that strip on Andy Dalton on his scramble to the right. What did you make of this response from the defense? Not only in this game, but let's go back to Atlanta, where they're in the locker room getting rolled by Bijan Robinson and Drake London. They flip a switch and they haven't looked back. They are now putting together 6 consecutive quarters of really good football on that end of the field.
Yeah, I'll say it like this: it needed to happen. It needed to happen. Like that was what we're used to defensively. And we had talked about it like when you're ranked in the bottom of NFL rankings defensively against the rush, the only place that you can go is up. You can't get any further than where they are. But I did not anticipate them coming out and shutting down Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard the way they did. Remember, you had asked me, Rev, do you think it's more likely that Chuba will rush for 200 yards or that the Bills defense will stop him to, under 100? I had to say, look, it's much more likely that he's going to get close to 200. They shut not just him, but he and I think Chuba both got under 100 yards rushing.
Yeah. Well under.
Crazy performance by the defense, especially against the run. And so I looked at that and I was like, yo, these boys came ready to play. They got tired of hearing all of the conversation and the talk about how they can't stop the run and how they can't do this, how they can't do that. Man, shout out to them. And I would have never guessed, and I was one to go on record on my X feed as to say that I did not think that Michael Hoyt and or Larry Ogunjobi were going to be that much of a contributing factor to the defense getting better. I was like, look, they are rotational players at best. How can we put our trust in those two players to turn the defense around? Well, doggone it. Look, it looks like I was wrong and I got egg in my face, and I'm more than happy to be wrong about that because Michael Hoyt came in there like a man on fire, a man possessed, and you laid out the numbers. He showed just exactly why the Bills went after him in free agency. I mean, this man was all over the field. Even after the game, he was saying, look, I gave him every pass rush move, every move I had. You could tell that he came ready to play. He was prepared, and he showed out. And I'm so excited about the way that this defense stood up against the Carolina Panthers. And then on top of that, not only do we have Michael Hoyt doing what he did, AJ Epinesa doing what he did, Greg Rousseau, but how about the rookie Maxwell Hairston coming out on a pitch count going against, with him and Tre'Davious White, him showing up like he didn't miss a step. And when I saw him crack the whip on that player, I can't remember who it was, but he laid the wood on that player up near the sideline. I was like, yeah, this brother right here, he's ready. And that's exactly what we needed to see. And I'm so excited about it. And I think an underrated MVP, if you will, to the defense is Sean McDermott walking there. And we all saw him with the play call sheet in his hand. I mean, of course, he's going to downplay it. He said, he and Bobby Babbage, they work together. But make no mistake about it. We all saw it. Sean McDermott was calling plays. How long he was doing it, I don't know, but he was calling plays, and the defense looked different that game. And so shout out to Sean McDermott getting back to doing what he does best and what got him the job in the first place. So I hope it doesn't change. I like what we see in here, and I have a lot more confidence going forward. It's bad that, unfortunately, Ed Oliver suffered the injury that he did. That really hurt me, man, when I saw Ed Oliver going down, and then we saw the post he put on Instagram about, it's just unfortunate. State of events here for Ed Oliver. So prayers go out to him. Hopefully he can get back on the mend as quickly as possible. But I feel confident with the defense going forward here. It's good to see them having a performance like they did against the Carolina Panthers, and it only bodes well for us in the future.
It was a pitch count for Maxwell Hairston, but maybe a little bit more so, or maybe less than we would have imagined. I mean, he played 44% of the defensive snaps in this game in his debut. Not bad. I'm interested to see what that looks like next week. Is it the same? Does it get upticked? But either way, in his debut, a lot of positives to take away, including that leveling that he gave that Carolina Panther on the sideline. One of the biggest issues these Bills have had is their tackling. It was great to see him lay the lumber there. Another rookie, by the way, Jordan Hancock, mentioned it with Thydock a minute ago.
Yeah.
You had Rico Dowdle in the open field for what looked like a surefire touchdown. Jordan Hancock in the open field, able to track him down, get him down. Thought we saw some good things from the rookies. And now you also mentioned, I'm not sure if Rico Dowdle or Chuba Hubbard, either one of them cracked 100. Not even close. 20 carries amongst the both of them, Rev. Both guys combined for 88 total yards. Rico Dowdle finished with 54 yards. Chuba Hubbard finished with 34 yards. So you're talking about Bijan Robinson in a Monday Night Football game 2 weeks ago, who has nearly, he has that in a almost like 1.5 that at half. That's what he had in 30 minutes of football himself. The Bills hold these two, in particular Rico Dowdle, who's been running all over the place the last month, completely in check. It was one hell of a performance, and it was one that we not only needed to see, but should be excited to see moving forward here, as the Bills are going to be taking on better and better offenses, including, of course, coming up this weekend against the biggest rival of them all. I mean, it's America's game of the year, no matter what team you root for in the Kansas City Chiefs. So this is the response we needed. Hopefully it continues to be built upon. Now, you mentioned something pivotal here. We go back to what changed. I mentioned that first half against Atlanta where Bijan Robinson doing whatever he wants, Drake London doing whatever he wants. You go into halftime and there did seem to be a major adjustment, and that reflected on the field. Then you go into this game post-bye, and it was a defensive masterclass, by far their best performance of the year. Sean McDermott's asked about him assuming play calls. He says it's a tandem with him and Bobby Babich. But let's be honest here. We've seen a noticeable difference. I can't imagine that noticeable difference has come from the mind of Bobby Babich if he was the one in charge of the play calling prior and things weren't good enough to be, able to continue assuming that role in the future on his own. Then Sean McDermott comes along, right? Partners up with him. And now all of a sudden things look completely different. You got to imagine that not only are they working together, but that might be a group project where one of the members of the group there, Rev, forgot to do his segment, shows up, you let him slap his name on it, and you submit it, you get an A. I mean, and if this is the case, look, at the end of the day, look, Rev, at the end of the day, if there's an A on the report card, there's an A on the report card. Okay. That's and I don't really care how the hell you get it. And I'm sure that the guy who didn't contribute much to the group project doesn't care so long as they're getting the A. Now, obviously, Bobby Babich, he would much rather be getting that A on his own, but it's a lot better than having it continue down the path in which it was going down. Yeah. So Sean McDermott, whatever he's doing, it needs to continue. I've said this before. You simply cannot continue what you're doing and have it not work. You cannot continue down that path for the sake of continuing down that path. You can't continue to put Taylor Rapp out there if you don't think that he is the guy. Go with Poyer, go with Hancock. You can't continue to go with Tre'Davious White when you have Maxwell Hairston ready to go. You got to just go. You got to put him out there and see what you have. Right. If you're Sean McDermott and you're noticing that the play calling on the defensive side of things is not good enough, you got to step in and take over. Credit to them. They've made all these changes. They have. Yeah. I mean, I think the Bills staff has gotten criticism in the past for being apprehensive to do stuff like this. I'll give them credit. I mean, I'll even go as far as to say I'll give them credit for re-implementing the tush push. Sean McDermott's been one of the most outspoken. I mean, how outspoken has Buffalo been, in terms of combating the tush push? And to be honest with you, I think they're 100% right. After what we saw in the Philadelphia Giants game, where, Jalen Hurts blatantly fumbles and it's ruled forward progress, which you never see in that play, because the play continues until the guy is pushed to wherever he's going to. It's the whole point of the play. It basically eliminates forward progress. I think we're going to see that play eliminated. I do. I think we have enough of a sample size this year of just bad what's the word I'm looking for? It's looked bad this year. Like optically, it's always not looked great. But there's been moments this year that have stood out more than there have in the past. But look at right now, Rev, it's legal.
It's legal.
Outside of Philadelphia, outside of Philadelphia, really, no one's ran it better in terms of trying to replicate it than Buffalo. You look at what they've done in the short yardage prior to that, a couple of end arounds that we all freaked out about. No one more so than me. So I give them credit for making these adjustments, making these changes. And so far, it looks like those are paying dividends. So we'll talk about, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, and didn't we talk about this at the pregame about how the Bills needed to go back to the norm? Like just go back to what got you there. We don't need to see any cutesy stuff, third and short, fourth and short. Why are we doing in and rounds to tight ends and Elijah Moore? Just go ahead and use your bread and butter. That's the tush push. Get back to it. Get back to running the ball. Get back to 13 personnel. You got your tight ends back in the game now. So just get back to who you are and establish that identity again. And the Buffalo Bills did it. So shout out to them for doing that.
We're all hoping the Bills can get back to being able to have a top-tier pass game. And that's one of the main things I want to talk about this evening. I think it's easy to sit here and talk about all the positives, and we have. I discussed it in depth in the post game, and I'm sure by now it's all you've talked about and read and dove into. How could you not? You put up 40 points. James Cook has an all-time day. This defense bounces back in a way that you really couldn't have predicted the way that they played. But despite winning by 31, putting up 40, and looking as good as they did, the one thing that stands out is the MVP and Josh Allen. And this passing offense is not what we've come to expect from them. It has not been good. No, let's just call a spade a spade. It has not been good. And visually, everything feels difficult. Whereas when they were running the football, as easy as it looked running the football, it looks equally as difficult for them passing the football. They hand James Cook the ball, and it just felt like, I mentioned this yesterday, it felt like he was on a conveyor belt to the sticks. Like it just literally felt like he was being transported. Yeah. But then when they're throwing the football, it sometimes feels like Josh Allen's trying to throw a dumbbell. Like that's how difficult it feels. Like it just seems as though nothing's coming easy in that department. And it's being noticed by everybody. Everybody who's tuning into the Buffalo Bills is noticing this. Yeah. Now, when we look at this offense, it's kind of a double-edged sword because it doesn't necessarily feel like it's as good as it once was. The run game is, the offensive line is, but the numbers also reflect that this offense not only isn't a cause for concern, that it's elite. I mean, based on EPA in all metrics, right? Total, per play, success rate, passing, rushing, Joe Brady's offense is top 10 in each and every one of them, top 5 in the majority of them. But optically, tell me what your eyes say. And what my eyes say is right now, this passing game is not one that I think that you can trust and rely upon to win you a football game should a defense be good enough to keep your run game in check. Right?
Yes.
So Joe Brady's asked about this. Rev, I want to get your thoughts on his comments here because he was just asked about this afternoon. And Josh Allen was also asked about this in the postgame. Essentially, it was a point-blank question. Is there anything to be concerned about in this pass game? Josh Allen flat out said no. And then here are Joe Brady's comments. When asked about this, Joe Brady says, quote, "I have no concerns in the passing game. That wasn't how the game needed to be won yesterday." Now, I agree with him. That's not how the game needed to be won. They didn't need to air the ball over the field to win that game. It reminds me of the Dallas Cowboys game a couple of years ago where they ran it down their throat. Josh Allen barely threw it. They ran the scoreboard up. They dominated. They walked out with a victory. However, when they did throw it, it did not feel right. It did not look good.
Yeah.
And that can be said about the games prior to this one. What do you make of the comments? What do you make about the pass game right now as it currently stands?
So when I read the comments, I mean, I agree. So the game script didn't cause for them to have to pass it, and so, I mean, if they can't stop the run and James Cook is ripping off, 10 yards, 11 yards per carry, there's not a need to pass the ball until they can show that they can stop and run. So I get it right there, but you're just not going to be able to run the ball all game long against teams who are better at stopping the run. It's just not going to happen. Eventually, you're going to have to pass the ball, and they're going to have to pass the ball against these Kansas City Chiefs. And so when they do pass it, it looks completely disjointed. It looks like there is no cohesion. They're just off. Josh is off. We've talked about, the receivers, they don't look like they're really getting open. At times they are open, but when they are open, Josh is either not looking their way or he's completely missing on a wide open receiver. I mean, we saw it, a wide open Elijah Moore, and Josh just completely whiffed. And I was sitting here looking at it like, he never misses that. I mean, it's wide open. Like, what's going on? Josh said, he's just not trusting his feet, or he needs to get back to trusting his feet. I don't know. Something is up. I think Josh is kind of being nice. I'm not too sure if he trusts these weapons as much as he might have used to trust them or whatnot. I definitely don't think he trusts Keon Coleman anymore. I don't think he trusts Elijah Moore. I think the guy that he was starting to earn trust in is now hurt, and that was Joshua Palmer. And so we have Khalil Shakir, but we know kind of how he's utilizing his offense. If it's not a wide receiver screen, a bubble screen, he's not really getting the ball down the field. And so outside of that, you don't really have anybody else who Josh has earned or developed that kind of chemistry and that kind of trust in. We know once he finds a guy that he can trust, he spams that player. We don't see that right now outside of Khalil Shakir at times and Kincaid, but Kincaid has been kind of hurt. So it's off altogether. And Josh is not without fault, right? I mean, we've seen him. He doesn't look like MVP Josh. I don't know where his head's at. I don't know if it's mechanics. I don't know. They got to figure it out. they have to figure it out. I'm not too sure if Joe Brady is a fault, where he's not scheming the receivers open. He's not playing to their strengths. At times I think that Keon Coleman is not being used rightfully or in the right way. I think that if you just only put Keon Coleman on the boundary and say, hey, you're going to be our X guy, go out and feed the jump balls and just get it, that's not the best way to use him. And Josh is off in his ball placement. So there has to be a revamped kind of way in which they use these receivers. It's a problem right now because, make no mistake about it, they're going to go up against a team who can just stop the run. We saw it against the Patriots. We saw it against the Falcons. When they key in, put players in the box, and they can stop the run, this passing offense of late cannot get it done. And if one of your main guys in Joshua Palmer is out, who else do you have on the field that can win consistently? I mean, when you go up against the Kansas City Chiefs, you've got McDuffie you got to worry about. You've got Steve Spagnuolo, who's had their number for years. What are you going to do against that defense? And they can blitz Josh like crazy, and they always seem to have a leg up on the Bills' offense when it comes to their blitz packages and their pressure packages. I don't know what's going to happen with that. I don't see anything differently happening. So they're going to have to figure it out because I don't trust this pass game right now going forward. And is it as simple as, hey, they need to go out and find a guy at the trade deadline who can win one-on-one? I mean, we hear the names. We hear Rashid Shaheed out at New Orleans or Brandon Cooks, or I don't know. They had to figure it out, but I'm as clueless as many people here are. But it's just not looking good, and it's weird how it can kind of fall off the way it's fallen off of 1 year. Last year, they look like the best thing since sliced bread, like Stephon Diggs, who like everybody eats, but now this year nobody's is eating in the passing game.
It's a famine.
It's famine, right? Everybody is starving. That should be the new slogan because it's looking bad, and I just fear that unless a move happens or unless some changes happen, this team is not going to go much further, especially if they get to the playoffs. I think it could be one and done, and I hate to say that, but this passing offense is looking that bad, and they cannot be one-dimensional. They have to be able to pass the ball, and right now they're just not able to do it.
And Sean McDermott literally said as such, right? He said when he was asked about this earlier today, Sean McDermott said, quote, "At the end of the day, we have to be able to throw the football." And I think it seems evident to Sean McDermott that they aren't really able to do that right now. But it doesn't seem as though it's evident to the ones in charge, Joe Brady and Josh Allen. Now, I said it earlier. I do give a bit of a leash on this. What are they expected to say, right? Are they supposed to say that they're bad?
I can't say it.
But I do think that there's other ways to go about it. You don't have to say that you're not good. You don't have to say that you're incapable of doing it. But I also think you can say a bit more than there's no issue at all. I think you can say that there's room for improvement. There clearly is. And it feels as though your head coach feels as such. Let's take a look at what Joe Brady himself had to say. I'd already told you a quote. Let's just kind of read the room here on what Joe Brady had to say. Let's take a look at what he said to the media earlier on in his press conference this Monday afternoon. And we'll kind of dissect it for ourselves here and get a read on it. Shout out to my man, Alex Brasky. He was kind enough to clip this up, Joe Brady's press conference from earlier. So let's take a peek at what Joe Brady had to say, and we'll kind of make our conclusions from there. You know what I forgot, by the way, as I'm doing this, as I set that all up, I forgot that my computer audio will not play through this thing. It will not play through this thing. Isn't that crazy? As eloquently, Rev, as eloquently as I teed that up for myself, and just hit that up.
You did.
So we're not going to do that because we can't do that. But as I mentioned, we did have some quotes. The biggest quote of all being, "I have no concerns with the pass game." And if you did watch what Joe Brady had to say, there does seem to be a little bit of I don't know, like it just feels as though frustration might be the word to use here, where you don't know necessarily where the frustration is coming from. Is there a disconnect between him and McDermott right now? It felt like there was a disconnect with those end arounds where McDermott felt like they were being cute, I believe was the word he used.
Yeah.
Joe Brady kind of defended the use of it the first time they did it in New England or against New England with Dawson Knox. Then they did it again the following week. That felt a little off to me, the fact that they ran it back. Then McDermott saying we have to be able to pass the football. Well, no kidding. I mean, my God, you have one of the best to ever do it, throwing it, and they really aren't able to do that properly right now, yet it doesn't seem to be, at least using his words, a concern at the moment. What I want to do, Rev, I want us, you and I, and the chat, of course, I want us to break this down because we talked about it. What's the issue? Is it Brady? Is it Allen? Is it the receivers? I'll tell you the one issue that it isn't. It is not the offensive line. This offensive line is phenomenal. They are giving Josh Allen a proper pocket. And beyond that, they are allowing James Cook to have an incredible season. They allowed him to have an incredible outing yet again against Carolina. What we're going to do is we are going to take a look at all 19 of Josh Allen's pass attempts. And what we are going to do from there, we're going to break down what we see and what we think the fault of the result is, or the success of that result, based on how the play concludes. So we're going to look at each one. There's only 19 pass attempts in this football game.
Before we get into that, Bob, do you want me to play the audio? Because I've got
from Joe Brady.
Here.
Yeah, if you could, that would be great. Are you able to add it?
Do you want the one that Alex Brasky was talking about, the passing game?
Yeah, why not? That one was only like 2 minutes, so I think that would be perfect. Let's do it.
The one as a whole, right?
Yeah, the one that
it's about
that. Yeah, exactly. If you can put that up, that would be great.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and see if let me see if I can. We all can hear it here. Let me play it.
We didn't really need it yesterday, so I mean, I'm always going to want it to be really. I'm always going to want everything to improve. But when we were running the ball yesterday, we didn't really need to pass it, especially once we kind of got rolling into the second half, and there's always elements that we got to clean up. I think there's opportunities out there yesterday that we didn't hit. And some of that is technique. Some of that is, pulling the trigger and making the decision. Some of that is scheme related, right? So it's always a combination of it. But I think anytime you run the ball for 240, you're going to be pleased with how the game went. And fortunately, you didn't have to pass the ball. But, we've shown, like you look back at the Baltimore game, like we've shown if we need to pass the ball in passing situations, we can do it. And so I have no concerns with the pass game. Obviously, I'd love to go every game and run for 200 and throw for 300, but that wasn't how the game needed to be won yesterday.
I think there's two ways to look at that. I think if you were to look at the quote on its own, then you would think it sounds worse than it does. I think what he said, he did say, there's other areas that we need to improve in, and it could be because of the. So he did say that, right? But he kept going back to the fact that they didn't have to do it. To me, that's not the point, because they couldn't do it when they did do it.
Right.
That's the thing. It wasn't a matter of if they had to do it. It was that when they did do it, it didn't look right. And when they had to do it against Atlanta, Rev, they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
They could not beat the blitz of Atlanta in that Monday Night Football game. So that was a game I look at when you're down 21 to 7 at half, and you had to throw the football. Outside of the opening drives of each half, they could not do it, and they could not beat the blitz. So I look at that game kind of as an example that would combat what he's saying there. Also, you're bringing up the Baltimore game. Their defense, one of the worst in the league, and that was now 7 weeks ago. I don't think we can be recalling a game from 7 weeks ago as our example to rest our laurels on. So I'll give them credit for saying, you know, there is room for we have things we want to improve on, but I think that goes without saying. What I take away, though, he continuously keeps coming back to we didn't have to do it, and I don't think that's the point, because this is now 3 games at least where you couldn't do it when you did attempt to try and do it. So that's my main takeaway from this. I never once looked at what they did in that game, Rev, and thought to myself, oh, they're just having an off passing game because the running game's clicking and they're just going to go with it that way. That's not what anybody took from that game.
No, not at all.
What everybody took away from it was, wow, when they did pass, they left a lot of meat on the bone there.
Yeah. I mean, and when your quarterback is 12 for 19, Josh, 19. All right, 19 attempts, 163 yards. Like that's not good enough. And I get it. I mean, like you had mentioned, they didn't really need to, but it's not the point. Is when they had to pass the ball, it was bad. It was bad. And so, like, that's the point they need to focus on, is like, hey, you know, we can get better, but it's more or less like when we have to pass the ball, it's not looking good, and it hasn't looked good for several weeks now. And so there was one comment that he made that really stood out to me. He had mentioned pulling the trigger and making it happen. I don't know if you caught that, but he had said, yeah, you know, like things like pulling the trigger and making it happen. That was a shot at Josh. So he was telling us, like, Josh needs to pull the trigger as well and make things happen. And so, and we can see it at times. There may be a guy open every once in a while, but Josh is not going to him. He's not seeing the field right.
We're about to see it. Trust me.
Yeah, exactly. We definitely. So this offense, I mean, the passing offense has to be rectified, and it needs to be rectified now before they find themselves on the outside looking in, and you got the New England Patriots who we're going to have to catch up with before the year's over with. So they better figure it out. That's all I got to say.
I also look at that quote that you just mentioned as a way of saying maybe that they're holding things back a little bit. Maybe that, I don't know if that's what he means or not, but that certainly to me cannot be the case, because, you know, people were trying to tell me, oh, no, they're keeping things under their sleeve a little bit for later on in the year. No, you can't do that because you're losing football games. No, yesterday's a game where you can do it because you're running the football so well. Okay, that's what I agree with. You're running it so well. Yeah, there's no need to dial up the depths of your passing playbook in this football game. But when you can't pass the ball against New England with any success, you can't pass the ball with any success against Atlanta, there's no way in hell you are not going into your bag to try and rectify that. So I'm not buying that. We'll see what happens down the line here. But let's take a look. Here's what we're going to do. You, me, the chat, we're all going to work together. 19 pass attempts for Josh Allen in this football game. We are going to take a look at the all-22 angle of each and every one of them. And we are going to write down, or I already have, so I've already watched all of them, and I got my notes for them. And then we're going to draw our own conclusions together, and I'll reference my notes as well based on what I initially saw. But we're going to take a look at all 19 pass attempts to try to get to the bottom of this, to see what the issue is and what the primary issue may be. Is it a primary issue? Allen's not seeing things. He's off. Is it the play calling? Is it the wide receivers? Or is it a, legitimate 33 split here where it's just a healthy combination of all of these different things? So let's dive into it. Let's pull up the all 22. 19 pass attempts for Josh Allen in this football game. And we're going to go ahead and dive in to each and every one of them. So we start off here with the first pass attempt of the game. And now there was a clear emphasis. Wouldn't that be the case? Wouldn't that be the case, Rev?
No way.
No, it'll work in a second here. Sometimes this thing's super buggy. There was a clear emphasis early on in the football game on the short passing, right? So they start off 2 of their 3 first attempts, their screens. So here's our first pass attempt of the game. And it's Josh Allen screen pass to Khalil Shakir on the left side or on the right side here. So screen pass. It's set up nicely. Now,
Can you expand it? Can you expand it?
Yeah, let's see here. Let's see if I can make this bigger.
It's like it's right there to the right next to the play button.
Is that better?
Right next to the play button right there. It'll full screen it.
Let me see if I'm able to full screen it. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I just don't know if it's going to do it. Oh, does that work? Okay, there we go.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, excellent. Okay, cool. There we go. Okay. So we have the screen pass here. And I'm fine with it. Like this is perfect for Shakir, right? Because this is his game. He is the Yak King. I mean, he does his best work when he's in the open field. So it's set up nice. You got your blockers there.
Right.
He's wide open on that screen, and it works to some success, right? What do you wind up getting on this play? About 4 or 5 yards or whatever, right? So a drive starter or whatever. Yeah, fine. Like, you're not going to look too much into this. The thing is, though, as we move along here, what you'll notice is this is like the primary focal point of their offense to some extent, where they continuously keep doing this. So this is play 1, right? So we'll move on to play 2 here. And this is one of the attempts in the game initially that it just kind of felt like Allen's a little off right off the jump.
Right? Do we have a down and distance on that one?
Yeah. So it's not showing. Why doesn't it? It's always something. I swear to God, it's not showing. Oh yeah. So here we go. So this is when I have it in the full screen rev, it doesn't show me the down and distance for whatever reason.
Okay.
Wouldn't you think in the year 2025, Rev, it would be a little bit easier?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you think? Let me get the down and distance for you.
There it is. All right.
Down and distance. This would be, so they only got 2 yards on that opening play there. That only resulted in 2 yards. So this is 2nd and 8. Okay.
All right.
2nd and 8 here. Now, this is the first throw for Allen in this game where it felt like maybe he might be a little bit off. So we'll take a peek here. So we're going to have Shakir motion over. We'll stop it right here. Okay, so the ball, this is a quick throw to Kincaid. Now, right off the bat here, this is one thing that I look at. I want to get your thoughts on this in terms of maybe the play calling. It's 2nd and 8. You just ran a screen. As we can see here, the first down markers here, this throw is 6 yards from the first down marker.
Yeah.
Even if this is complete, Rev, it's going to be 3rd and 6, best case scenario. Now, the other thing is
defenders barreling down on them right there. Yeah,
exactly. And on top of that, the throw, if it's thrown to the jersey, if it's thrown to the chest plate to Kincaid, or is that Knox? Or it is Kincaid. If it's thrown to the chest plate to Kincaid, it's a completion. Best case scenario here, though, it's 2 yards. That throw, though, Rev, it's just not a good throw. That throw is high to the right with those defenders barreling in. So I want to get your thoughts, but my initial thoughts are on that throw, multitude of issues to me. One, I don't know why that's the first and what seemed to be only read when it's 2nd and 8. In the best case scenario is going to be 3rd and 6. 2, the throw was high, difficult catch, especially with the third point here, 2 defenders barreling in, like it's pretty much completely blanketed. Yeah. So why is that the read?
Go back, play that again. I want to see the other receivers here on this route.
Well, that's the thing. So when you're looking,
we got Coleman down here. Is he on the bottom?
So I think Coleman's right here, but as you can tell, though, Rev, Kincaid's like the only read on this. Like this seemed like it was just meant to go to him, and that's it.
Well, it looks like Josh predetermined it.
Yeah.
Because go back. Because before the other receivers even got out of the break, I mean, they're still running the route, and Josh is already ready to throw it to Kincaid. I mean, we got Curtis Samuel. He slips at the break point, but look at Josh. He's already predetermining that throw
before anybody's even really made their route. I mean, it's never even glanced over here.
Yeah, and so you have Samuel up at top. Okay, it looks like he was covered. That might have been something had he not slipped, because it looked like he crossed the face of the defender. But then Keon Coleman down here in the bottom. Keep playing. I want to see what Coleman does.
I mean,
so he had it look like that was a double move down
did.
there. Go back to it again. Keep an eye on Keon Coleman down here in the bottom. Boom, double move. So now it looked like that was man covered. Now I think that was against J.C. Horn. I don't necessarily know if Keon would have been open if because we saw it look like the defender break towards where the play was going, and they might have done that early just because of Josh had already thrown it. But I probably would have taken my chance on Keon Coleman on the bottom. Single man, looked like he was man coverage. Safety was on the other hash, the inside hash. Keep it going. Keep it going.
The other thing, too, to note, look at how the pocket's beyond clean. The reason why I think that this was just always meant to go to Kincaid for whatever reason is because this ball is thrown as soon as the ball is snapped. I mean, when you look at it, we're talking, look at motion over, snap, 1, 2, throw. Like there's nothing else is developed, but the pocket is completely clean. And it would be a 2-yard gain.
I hate that, man. I hate that.
So do you think that this was meant to be this, or this is just Allen looking to get rid of the ball instantly? Because as you mentioned, with that pocket, if Coleman's making the double move here, I mean, maybe
he's open.
Maybe
there's a chance. There's a chance. I mean, at least he's singled up down here in the bottom. You give him a shot. But what's weird though, and I'm glad you pointed this out, is why the route concepts are just weird, because you have one guy in Kincaid who is immediately at the snap. Basically, he runs, a few yards and stops and turns around, but then everybody else is still running their routes.
And everybody's in this vicinity too. All like 4 Panthers defenders are in this vicinity as well.
That just doesn't seem.
You have 3 Panthers defenders here, and it's 2 yards off the ball.
Right. So not only does it seem like that's probably the primary read or only read, it just does not seem like a good play. It's by virtue of how quickly he comes, he turns around and looks for the ball, but while everybody else is still running. Like normally, if it's going to be like that, players are already breaking into the route. They're already breaking out of the routes. But you have 3 guys. You have Shakir up top, and then you got Samuel there, and then Coleman on the bottom. They're still running their routes like that. The route distribution, it just seems completely off and broken, and that's just a bad play. Not only is that a bad play, but then you have the bad ball placement there by Josh throwing it into double coverage, and it could have been intercepted.
It actually almost was. If you actually slow it down, if you watch the ball off the tip from Kincaid's hands, it's touched by the Panthers defender.
Yeah,
right
it is
there.
right there. Yeah.
So I think we can look at this one. This one to me, Rav, this is a collection here. It's a bad Allen throw, and it's just a bad play call to me. If that was meant to be strictly going to Kincaid, just not a good read in that situation. 2nd and 8. I mean, even if that ball is thrown perfectly, your best case scenario there is 3rd and 6. So it doesn't result in anything. It's an incompletion. We'll then go to 3rd down and 8 here. So as you remember, we on the 1st down play, it was a screen ran to Shakir on the near side, the right side of the field. You'll notice Shakir's up here on the left side now. It's 3rd and 8. And this is going to be the exact same play essentially as the 1st down play, but ran on the opposite side. Shakir motions in, screen. Now, one thing I want to note about the screen passing. Allen seems to be throwing the screen pass 110 miles an hour.
Yes.
And I've equated
always
it
ahead
to,
of him.
And I've always equated it, Rev, to the way you would throw a stone off of water.
Yeah.
He skips the ball.
He skips it. He's not even set.
I don't know why it's not just a clean throw. And as you'll notice, it's always kind of low.
Uh-huh.
But on this particular one, and mind you, I don't dislike screens. It just feels as though it's really all they currently have in their repertoire right now. Mm-hmm. This one works great. The blocking setup is perfect. I mean, you have obviously you have Deion Dawkins coming down. The wide receivers have set this up perfectly, and Shakir is great at being able to navigate. So that worked great. So you did have a screen pass here that worked to perfection. But we now are looking at your first 3 passing plays of 19, and all 3 so far, Rev, have been right in front of the line of scrimmage or at the line of scrimmage. Your first 3 passing attempts. All right. So on this particular play, this one is our first example here to me where I remember in real time thinking, You know, you're already talking about that throw Allen misplaced with Kincaid there on the short dump off. This one, to me, there's a lot to get into here. So it's worth noting, they've already ran 2 screen passes to Shakir. In my opinion, this play is set up to be a fake screen to Shakir and then meant to go elsewhere, because you've already shown the defense 2 screens prior. So you'll notice Shakir motions, Allen snaps, and the first read, he doesn't throw it to him. And I don't think that's because he didn't want to. I think this is because this is designed that way.
Yeah,
right? Because he is wide open. If he wanted to throw it to him, I feel like exactly. Yeah. So here we go. It's to me, I read this as a design fake screen. You're looking for something bigger. Now,
right down the field. Yep. And who was that? Who was that up top?
Okay, so up top. Well, yeah. So we have Shavers right here.
Yeah.
Right, and I think we have Elijah Moore up at the top, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think that's Elijah Moore.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So look it. This is meant to be a shot, I would imagine. Yeah. There's nothing here. You got the corner cover in this perfectly with the safety man in the ship in the back here. If you were to go either side, that's
the throw. It's to Elijah Moore. Because
no, that one's coming up. Oh,
I'm saying that's where Josh needed to throw it to. Now, granted, I mean, you have to give your guy a shot. You have what looks like the linebacker playing kind of deep right there. Josh, that's one of those throws where Josh has to get it over the linebacker. He's crossed the face of J.C. Horn. So that right there, if Josh lets go of the ball, that's probably a touchdown, because the safety is double covered on the far side of the hash going up against Shavers.
Yeah, you are right. He is committed to the right side here.
And then so you have the fake screen, and then Josh just needs to get that as soon right there. As soon as Elijah Moore crosses the face of the defender, he's got inside leverage. That ball needs to go over the top of the linebacker over there, and then boom, right in the bucket. Yeah, right in the bucket, inside the numbers.
I agree with you where it could have been had. However, it is well covered. I would understand Allen thinking it may be risky.
That goes to his what you're saying. Trust, though. That goes to his lack of trust in his receivers.
I do see what you're saying. I actually didn't even look at this one to that degree where I think you're right. This could have been attempted, right? And I think this was the goal of the play. The goal of the play was to get this to one of these 2 guys.
But then you got Ray Davis wide open there.
And this is where, to me, this is where I can't get over that. I can't get over this. So mind you, look at Allen takes the snap, fakes the screen to Shakir. He has got all day. I mean, look at this pocket. He's in the pocket all day.
Clean pocket.
So we've ruled out Shavers. You could argue the throw to Moore was there, but it would have had to have been an absolutely perfect throw, and it was well covered. Yeah. This is where, to me, this is where when people are saying
wide the heck open, man.
This is where there's just no excuse to me. You are talking Ray Davis could not be more open. Okay, by the time he gets to him, you have more.
The 10 yards away from him.
You have the safety committed to the right side of the field. Elijah Moore has taken this corner out. You are now left with a linebacker on Ray Davis in the open field. All Josh Allen has to do is hit Ray Davis in stride, and Ray Davis is now in the open field with 1 man to beat for a 30-yard touchdown. And here's what happens.
Easy money.
I mean, it just can't happen.
Yeah.
And this is what's killing me about this. He was not under pressure at any point, and this ball is thrown off the back foot for no reason. It's kind of like when we go back to the Falcons game and he flipped the ball to Ty Johnson for no reason, where he could have just thrown it over his head.
Now I will say this. Go back to it a little bit here, just before he threw it. He felt some heat at his feet, and that was Osiris Torrance got really close. Watch Torrance. Right there. So Torrance,
but I mean, it's not there.
But he still had. I mean, we're talking about the MVP there now. Okay, so he still had room. Slide to your left a little bit, reset your feet, and boom, that's wide open. But Josh has such
it's not even close.
There's no way. There's no way. There's no way it should be that off. None.
I mean, this is a a 10-yard dump off. And if he hits him right here,
yes,
he gets up and is gone. It's gone. The defender's coming in.
Oh my gosh.
But if it's hit without him having to get out of the way,
Yeah.
and he hits him in stride, I mean, at the minimum, it's a first down. But I trust Ray Davis in the open field to make the linebacker miss.
Right.
This is one to me where, like, I got people telling me no one's ever open. And this is one of those cases where that's just completely untrue. We've made an argument that this is open in the NFL.
That could have been
right?
a shot play.
I mean,
he wanted to take it, yeah. But Ray Davis was the guy.
This is
it was like that play was designed to get Ray Davis open because Elijah Moore took the corner to the inside here. You've got Shavers and he's taking the safety. So that was designed for the one-on-one with Ray Davis and the linebacker, and Josh completely whiffed. Completely. Ridiculous.
I mean, that's just you can't even really wrap your mind around. And the thing is, it happens to everybody, but this has been a common occurrence the last several weeks here.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about just anybody. We're talking about the MVP here. That's the thing. All right, we move on. Next drive. Where are we at currently here? We are on what will be the 5th pass attempt of the game. This is now later on after they settled for a field goal on that drive. That's the other thing, too. They don't get a touchdown on that drive. What would have been a touchdown potentially on that play. Right. They settled for a field goal. So Bill's second drive late in the first quarter. This is now 1st and 10. Allen under center here. Okay, this is another one. Okay, so I here are my notes for this pass before we even take a look at it.
Check down.
So I wrote, Kincaid in the middle of the field looked to be potentially miscommunication on this route, but Allen does miss 2 receivers here. So let's watch this play out in full. And I want you to watch Keon Coleman here at the top of your screen. Wide open. Wide open.
Right there.
So Keon Coleman, Allen's got the ball in his hands right here. Keon Coleman is wide open. He absolutely wide open. And the pocket is completely clean. That's the thing, Rev. I think he meant to go to Kincaid here. But what kills me about this, the linebacker is right in the path of the ball, and you have another backer on the back side of Kincaid. And the thing is, it doesn't even come close to him.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
So I'm wondering here if this one, I don't know if Kincaid was supposed to keep running outside and he stopped. That's my only thought as to why that ball was so far away from him, if that was miscommunication on the route. But my bigger concern is that with the pocket this clean, why are we not waiting for Keon Coleman to continue to come across the field here? He's wide open.
Here's my thing. Here's my thing. Now, initially, Keon looks to be open, but if you rewind it just a little bit back, a little bit more, I think that defender was kind of baiting Josh to throw it because right there, because Keon is not even out of his break yet, and the defender has eyes on Josh the whole way through. So if that ball gets there, if that defender's taking a break, I think he picks it off because he was baiting Josh. So I think the play was to James Cook out of the backfield. Here it comes.
But he didn't even look to James Cook.
He didn't look. If Josh pumps it like he's going to Coleman, if you were to pump fake it right there to get that DB to bite even more on Coleman, he has James Cook wide the heck open with nothing but green grass right there. He dumps it off to James Cook. James Cook is probably scoring right there.
So I think we can look at, in terms of, once again, talking about nobody being open, you're right. James Cook wide open here. I see what you're saying about Coleman. I do. And maybe he is being baited here. But with Allen's arm strength, now the question is Coleman meant to continue to keep running on this route, or is that a stop route? I don't know. So maybe you're right there where Coleman might not be as open as he seems to be. But either way, regardless of the receiver situation, this ball it's not even remotely catchable by anybody.
No.
And if it was meant to go to Kincaid, Rev, you're talking about him being baited on that way. What about right here? You got 2 guys all over Kincaid in the middle of the field.
Yeah, go back. It looks like another predetermined pass. Go back again.
Yeah, you're
See,
right. He never looks anywhere but Kincaid.
He doesn't look anywhere else. He looks nowhere else, and it looks like he's just, again, remember I had said earlier, like when there's a player that Josh trusts, he's going to spam him. And I think right now, the only two players that Josh really trusts in the receiving game are Kincaid and Shakir. But which is weird because last year, Josh was throwing the Cook out of the backfield at an just ridiculous.
I mean, yeah, dude, that's a great point you make about Cook here.
He's wide open, dude. Like just take.
And he's got
take
space,
man. He's got nothing but green grass there.
And so look at this pocket. Like, there's no need to throw this right now with how covered Kincaid is.
He has not only does Kincaid have two people covering him, but Josh also, go back again because I want to see this. He has a defender at the line who's right there. Look at number 94. Number 94, who is right there in front of Osiris Torrance. He comes clean, he stops, he waits, he almost bats the ball down or intercepts it. Right there.
You're right.
So Josh essentially has three people in the passing lane there.
You made a great point. If this is a pump fake with the pocket being as clean, boom, pump fake it, and then swing the Cook.
Swinging the Cook.
Or Coleman. I mean, I get what you're saying about the bait to Coleman, but I really do think, I don't know, dude. I think if Coleman keeps coming, now maybe this is on Coleman, but once again, we're dissecting the issues here. This is the thing. You do have a man open, regardless of what's going on in the middle of the screen. James Cook's wide open. I do think Coleman's open, but I gotta also self-correct myself here because I can't tell based on when he stops if he's meant to stop right here or if he's meant to come across the field. Now, here's the thing. If he's meant to come across the field.
Because 21 down here on the bottom of the screen, he's coming for help. He's coming to help. But you have the safety on top of coming at the numbers at the 30. So he's
by the time 21's coming to help. I mean, dude, he look how open he is.
Yeah, but if Coleman kept running though towards the numbers, towards the inside of the field, that's another passing lane.
If Allen hits him right here, if he hits him right here, 21's nowhere close.
No, 21's nowhere close. But if he kept on going, but I just think that corner right there too is baiting Josh. I think he makes a break easily on that pass right there. I don't think that's the place to go. I think he wanted him to throw it to Coleman. I think that corner wanted him to
What do you think the reason for the throw? What do you think the reason for the placement of the throw is? Do you think it was a miscommunication between him and Kincaid?
I think
or
Josh
just a completely bad throw.
I think Josh was just like, I want to go to Kincaid, but if I throw it inside, you got the linebacker who's sitting right there in the middle. He's going to intercept it. So he just throws it off shoulder in hopes that Kincaid can make an adjustment on the ball, a ridiculous catch, so nobody else can get it. Is essentially a throwaway, and he just missed. My bigger question is why in the heck is he throwing the ball to Kincaid right there in the first place?
I couldn't agree more. That's the takeaway. Kincaid is never open on this play. Never.
No.
And once again, if you wanted to excuse it away, if he's got a guy in his face, he's trying to get rid of the ball. Okay, fine. Every rep you're going to watch here as we go through. I mean, this pocket, you couldn't handcraft it better.
Look at it, man. It's beautiful.
And look at the other thing you mentioned too. If Kincaid's the read, boom, it's not there. He's not open. I bring the ball back to my chest.
Immediately
look to my left.
Go to your check down.
Yep.
There it is. Dump it off to Cook.
So now we got multiple plays here where you're noticing it does feel like the routes are a little out of whack and the throw placement is just simply not what you are expecting from the MVP. It's just not.
Can we finally, I'm sorry to interrupt you, man. Can we finally get over the fact that, get over this idea that Josh is untouchable? Because I've seen so much, from on X where it's almost like Josh is like the golden boy, and any amount of criticism against him is, you can't blame Josh. No, Josh is perfect. Give me a break. Well, look at the tape. We see it right here. Josh, yes, he's MVP caliber Josh. I get that. But this guy is not he's not being perfect right now. I mean, he's off. He's missing players wide open that he normally hits. So he has room for criticism. It's okay to critique Josh Allen Okay, it's okay. He's not perfect, and we see it right here. And a lot of these issues with the passing game can fall flat on his doorstep.
The one thing I think it is that it's really not that noticeable, or at least as noticeable on the broadcast angle. When you're watching with the bird's eye view, you're seeing all of these other elements that I don't think most people go and watch the bird's eye view, the all 22 view. So I think the easy thing to rule out here for those who aren't, it's that, well, Allen won the MVP. I know they don't have a whole lot of household names at receiver. It's got to be the receiver's fault. You're watching this. There are numerous moments now in succession, week in and week out, where Allen has a play handcrafted for him, and it's just not being executed. Yeah. So I couldn't agree more. I think that, listen, I get it. I understand protecting Allen. He is the diamond in the rough that is Buffalo. We waited a quarter century for the guy. MVP, he'd probably go down as the best player in Bills history, right? I get all that. But at the same time, when you've created that standard and you're in the window in which the Bills are currently in, this is why he's not impervious to the criticism, because you know how good he is. So when you are seeing these things, you can't help but question, why is this the way it is right now? When you know how good he is. We wouldn't be saying this about a guy that we have no expectations of. We're saying this because of how good he is. That's the thing. If we're breaking down this tape in 2005 and we're running through the gauntlet of quarterbacks that were in the rotating door of the Bills roster, we wouldn't be sitting here getting as frustrated as we are currently, because we just know these guys aren't it. This guy is it. We're talking about an MVP brought home this calendar year back in February. This is why you can't help but scratch your head. And I understand why people are so apprehensive to look his way in terms of thinking that he's at fault because of the MVP and because of how good he is. This is why, to me, you have to go and look at this to try and figure out what the issue is. And I think the issue is so much broader than just receivers can't get open. We have now looked at multiple plays where there are guys open and they're just not being hit. All right, let's move on to the next one. This is going to be a target to Keon Coleman on the next play here on second down. We'll let it run through once.
All right. Samuel in motion. Ray Davis in the backfield.
And once again, I mean, this is like the exact same play to Kincaid, the play prior.
Oh, that's awful. That's awful, man.
Rev, is this not identical to what they just did to Kincaid a couple of plays prior?
Yep. You got him in motion. Let's see who.
This is never open.
Nobody's there. That should have been throwaway. Everybody's covered. Everybody's covered. You go across the board. I don't even know why Josh is trying to fire it in there like that. Like nobody's open. We've got. Yeah.
I want to address something because this is a good point, right? We got Dominic coming in. It's easy to press stop and play on everyone and freeze and find the open one rather than getting 2 to 3 seconds in the pocket. I get all that. You're right. We're armchair quarterbacking it right now. I get that. I completely get that.
What do you think the coaches are doing?
But, Dominic, to your point, Allen's got a clean pocket on every single one of these passes, and the reads that are being made initially are never open. Keon Coleman is never open in this. I understand if you got a guy in your face and you got to get rid of it, maybe you try to fit it into a window that isn't there. He's never open. You have 9 on every throw we've shown so far. Not only has Allen had all the time in the world, but look, even to your point, Dominic, we'll go back to the throw to Ray Davis on the out route. Allen doesn't have anybody there, and he throws it to the wide open receiver. He just skips it off the ground. And now we have a throw to Kincaid and a throw to Coleman in the intermediate game that is just not only not open, but completely forced in a clean pocket here.
That's the thing about it, man. Like there's nowhere to go with that ball, nowhere. And that's one of those plays where you just say, hey, the defense won, because you look at it. The only player that you may think about going to would be Shakir, right here in the slot. I mean, it has to be quick, boom.
But it's not even open either.
It's right there. It's not. That's a throwaway play. And that was a good disguised blitz here. They blitz on the other side here, where Ray Davis was. But they did that, and I think I've seen it a couple of times in this game where they got Josh to move the running back to one particular side, and they blitzed that side to take away a check down. So like Ray Davis there, so now you remove him, he can't go out and become a check down. So they actually blitzed on that particular side, which is where the blitz actually came from. So now Ray Davis has to stay in there and block, and he can't go out in the route. So
this is one of those examples, Rev, where I feel like you could say this is a collective effort at blame, where it's not a good throw from Allen. The play seems to be designed to where it's underneath yet again, right? So you might be looking at this as yet another conservative play call, and no one's open. Like on this play, no one's open. Like you look at this, Shakir's covered. Samuel, you could argue, is open, but this is a really tough throw between two defenders.
That would be probably the main shot right there. Who was that? Is that Samuel?
That's Samuel. But
right there.
You know,
that would because you got J.C. Horn down there on the bottom of the screen, number 8. He's kind of baiting a little bit. He's playing. All right, so boom.
That might
right
be
there,
it.
That has to be it. Right in that pocket, right there in between. You got Dawson Knox there, and you watch where they kind of, all right there, boom. That has to be it.
The one thing I'm noticing is almost no play is being allowed to develop. Are you noticing this?
Yeah, absolutely. He's rushing it. And again, it goes back to me thinking that he's predetermining where the ball should go rather than allowing the play to develop. You see, and going to the correct read there. There's no way Keon Coleman is the first read and the only read there. Like he looks
like even the blitz here, it's picked up.
No.
Like you have a ton of time here.
Yes, you throw the ball into the blitz, and the blitz is coming right there on Allen's right side where Ray Davis is. He blocks it up. That ball needs to be whizzed right there, boom, in between, right there.
Honestly, Rev, if he didn't have the arm talent that he did, this is a pick six. Like if he throws that any 100%. Slower, 100%. Number 2 is taking that to the house.
He's going to the house. And these plays, see, Dominic was talking about how we're basically armchairing and it's easy for us to do this. Yeah, but you expect more out of a quarterback of this caliber. Okay, we're not talking about Andy Dalton and that we've seen. We're not talking about some of the bottom tier quarterbacks. We're talking about the former MVP quarterback in Josh Allen, who's played better and knows better. Like, what do you think? And far be it for me to call myself a coach, but what do you think the coaches are looking at? They're looking at the film. This is exactly what they're looking at, and they're coaching Josh saying, "Hey, Josh, you should have gone here. What were you thinking? Tell me where your eyes were. You tell me what you think here and there. Boom." They're stopping it and they're playing it. They're looking at it again and they're dissecting it over and over and over again. And they're probably saying, "Josh, this is where the ball should have gone. What were you thinking?" Okay, and so. Again, we have to be able to critique Josh Allen. It's okay. And he's going to criticize himself because he's even said, "Hey, I'm not trusting my feet here. My eyes are off, all this kind of stuff." And we see it. The tape is not lying. It's not. And we can harp on, "Oh, well, Joe Brady's not doing this and the receivers are not getting open." And granted, we don't have that wide receiver number 1 finger quotes like Stephon Diggs, when we had him, who's going to consistently beat their man one-on-one. But let's give Joe Brady a little bit of credit here because he's at least scheming something where some guys are getting open, but your MVP quarterback so far 7 games into the year is missing guys who are open when they do get open. And that cannot happen anymore.
And a couple other things too. Like we understand we are hitting the pause play button. We get all that, right? Couple things to note though. The pocket is always clean. And these are the first reads. Like, it's not like Allen goes to this afterward. This is the initial read. Like, the thing is, we can sit here and say he should have done this, this, and that. But there's no way he doesn't see that this isn't open. You see the defender crashing down. You see the linebacker right here in the middle as well. And he doesn't even look anywhere else. And there's nobody in the vicinity of tackling him. So to sit here and say that we're slowing the game down, of course we are. We're just looking to see what the other options were and what's going into each and every scenario. This is Allen's first and only read. He throws it immediately, and it's never open. It's just not.
I mean, even at full speed, there's even just play it for
Yeah.
Dominic's sake. Just play at full speed. Even at full speed, there's no way you say this is where the ball should go.
At full speed, it looks like it's going to be a pick six. It was read perfectly.
Yeah. Come on now. Like Josh, you can't have Josh making that throw. You can't.
The other thing too, Rev, is the risk reward on some of these is just not worth it. Like you're only going to gain 4 yards and you're risking throwing it in the double coverage to do it.
Eventually, somebody's going to pick that off.
Like I said, if he doesn't have a rocket of an arm and it's an average arm, that's a pick six.
And he might have been banking on his arm. He might have been looking and thinking that, hey, man, I can sling it right in the middle here and I can beat the defender and my guy has a chance to catch it. But why are you trying to throw a piss missile there against double coverage? Like for what? Like this is a lot of these plays are reminiscent of man like Sugar High. Well, not even Sugar High Josh, just early years Josh, where he was forcing the ball into places that didn't need to be there. This is kind of what we're seeing. And it's not looking good. Like this is not what we should be talking about here from Josh. We thought that he was beyond this. And so we. And
by the way, we're only like 5 or 6 throws in. Like this has happened numerous times. And by the way, Dominic, I saw your chat. Dominic, the reason I pointed your chat out is I thought you made a good point. I wanted to express that I understand, and I thought you made a great point. I understand. Yes, we are sitting here with the perfect angle, and we are slowing it down. But the reason we're doing that, as you're stating, and I'm glad you mentioned this earlier, I wanted to just let it be known. Like I wanted us to take a look at what is developing in the play, because all we keep hearing is nobody gets open. And as Rev said earlier, there does seem to be a large contingency of the fan base that will not place an ounce of blame on Allen in terms of this past game not being what we expect it to be, right? So this is why we're looking at it this way. And I think from what we can tell early on here, there have been moments where no one's open. There have been moments where Allen's forcing it. The one consistency here, though, is there's no need to throw this ball so quick with the pass protection that he has every single snap. Now, this is one of those plays. You mentioned it earlier. There's really nobody open other than Samuel, and he doesn't look that way. And maybe by the time he does, it just wouldn't have worked out.
It's too late. Yeah, like Josh, the ball's already gone. Before Samuel even gets out of his break, the ball is gone.
So that might be a play where you just nothing worked, right? And that happens, and that could be chalked up to just nobody really separating, right? Now this is the throw of the game. This is the best throw of the day. This is to Dalton Kincaid, his lone catch of the game. This was maybe the only play in the game, Rev, where the Bills threw the ball down the field 20 plus yards with any success. So take a peek here. We have Kincaid. He's going to motion in and run the crosser. Now this is perfect. It's perfect for so many different reasons. You got Kincaid in the motion here, and the way that the routes are run, it essentially serves as almost like a midfield pick here, where you have him. You got Kincaid crossing over, right? So the safety's got to step up to secure. This is perfectly designed, perfectly executed. The one thing I did notice, though, and it is a little nitpicky, the ball is a little high. I mean, that's a hell of a catch for Kincaid. Yeah. But I mean, he had to kind of throw it over the linebacker. It looks like who was that? Oh no, maybe that was a safety there. That's the only thing you can nitpick on this. This is a perfect play.
Yeah, he had to kind of get it over. And like, well, no,
see this?
He just sailed it. He just sailed it. It was high.
That was their best pass play of the day. And that came in the first quarter. That was their best pass play of the day. That was also their longest air yard play of the game. Obviously, they had the 54-yard touchdown to Shakir, but that was a 4-yard pass.
Was that Kincaid or was that Dalton Knox?
That was Kincaid. It was his only catch of the football game.
Okay. I love that play.
Now, here's an example of a play where Allen does everything he possibly can and nobody's open. So on this play, let me just get the down and distance here. This is 2nd and 3, first quarter, and this ball is going to go to Elijah Moore on the sideline here. So we'll let this play through. And this is a play where there's just nothing open. Josh Allen gets blitzed instantly under pressure. He makes a great play. Moore can't keep his feet in. This is a great play from Allen. Nothing you can do here. 54 goes unblocked. Allen's running a boot. So he's already under pressure, right? There's nothing you can do here. So he does what only Allen can do, only a handful of guys can do, and make something out of nothing. This is a great play. It's a great play from Allen. Moore just can't keep his feet in.
Yeah, that's your typical Josh Allen play, rolling right, making something out of nothing, But yeah, that defender played it well. It looks like they were hoping that he kind of bit, go back there on the play action there. Looks like, let me see here, 54 on the edge, standing up there on the bottom. Yeah, it looks like they were hoping that he bit inside and Josh had nothing but space there for the receiver, but he didn't force Josh out. So that was good eye discipline by number 54.
Yeah, it is also odd though that we got Gilliam motioning like 54. This play is designed for Allen to roll right. Yeah, I guess you're right. They were looking to bait 54 to stay in.
So Josh had open, and he could have probably hit Dawson Knox crossing here underneath. He looks like he had a high low concept there. So you have Dawson Knox there low right there. If assuming 54 bit inside, Josh has space, or then he can hit. It looks like, who's that? Is that Shavers down at the 10 on the bottom? Who is that?
So you have Coleman here.
That's
Knox here.
Samuel.
This is Elijah. This is Elijah Moore.
Elijah Moore. Yeah.
So yeah, Allen's under pressure. He's on the run. You can't make these throws here. It's just too difficult with the guy in your face. So in all honesty, this is the only play that could have been made. It was made perfectly. Elijah Moore just doesn't keep the feet in. So that's a play that just, it just didn't get executed because of the inability to keep the feet in. But there's not much more you can ask from Allen on that one. Okay, Another play here. So we have Allen with a 15-yard completion to Dawson Knox on this one. So now we're in the second quarter. First play of the second quarter. It is 2nd and 16. Now, this is a weird play because it's a great play, but it also didn't need to be this difficult. Let's let it run through.
Mm-hmm.
Allen doesn't need to bail there.
Oh, my gosh, no.
But he makes an incredible play. So let's go back.
He does what he does. Yeah, go back. I want to see the design of the play before he scrambles.
So right off the bat, Shakir is wide open.
He's wide open.
Okay.
Wide the heck open.
Now, Allen bails here, and I don't know why, because the pocket's completely clean. It's completely clean.
Seeing?
Now,
what is he
also
seeing,
bailing to the left here.
If
you bail to the left, there's nobody but Coleman on the deep shot.
Yeah, and Samuel down here, it immediately removes
half the field.
Shakir there and half the field. So now everybody has to go into scramble drill.
Like if you hit Shakir there. Now, here's where you got to give him credit. Like he made the play difficult, and if he does throw it to Shakir, it's probably only a 5 to 7 yard gain. Allen being Allen, he makes the difficult into an even better play. This was the only way they were going to gain 15 yards on this, but man, did he make this difficult. I mean, you run right back into the pressure, almost get set. I mean, it was an unbelievable play. But it just makes you wonder, like, Allen did an Allen type thing on this play.
Yeah.
But he didn't have to bail out of this.
He didn't have to.
It is an incredible play, though. It's one of those things where it's like the double-edged sword, where Allen's going to do Allen things, but you know what happens when Allen does Allen things. It can be some incredible stuff, and this is certainly that. So you turn a 2nd and 16 into a 3rd and 1. I mean, it was a great play. I just noticed it as one more example where it does feel like Allen is willing to get out of the pocket awfully quick. But, I mean, my God, what an unbelievable play from Allen here.
He is, man. He's not trusting. I don't understand, because, like, this offensive line is holding up. So I don't know why he's so giddy in the pocket and ready to leave so quickly.
I'm noticing
the line look bad.
When's the last time it doesn't feel like Allen throws the ball downfield in the clean pocket? It only feels like we're getting balls thrown down the field once he breaks contain, and then he'll throw it down the field. It feels like every time he throws out of a clean pocket, Rev, standing in the pocket, it's always a short yardage throw.
And do you know who does stand in the pocket and deliver the ball down the field against pressure?
Tell me.
Mitchell Trubisky.
Mitchie boy?
Yeah. when Mitch gets in the when Mitch gets in the game, and of course, I'm not saying that Mitch is better than Josh. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is that Mitch is more willing to stand in the pocket and make some of the throws that Josh won't necessarily make. He'll stand in the pocket and deliver the ball down the seam. He'll deliver the ball, in places that Josh won't do it without scrambling. And so Josh needs to sit in that pocket, man. That pocket is beautiful. He's completely clean.
And we have a comment from Twitter coming in saying, I was at this game, seemed like he wasn't comfortable with the protection. Well, when you're watching, there's no excuse for not being comfortable with this protection, because the protection is the best thing we've seen on each and every one of these plays. No question about it, right?
This wasn't a pass rushing defense that could really get after the pass.
No, very weak. They were bottom third in the league in terms of getting after the quarterback. And you saw that on display. All right, so here we are mid-second quarter. Hard to believe, Rev, mid-second quarter in this game, it was 6-3 at one point, the way that this wound up finishing out.
That was so frustrating.
So here we go. Mid-second quarter here. And now this is now what, so we have gone through
another screen.
Yeah, before I let it play out, I want to take a peek. So we've gone through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is the 10th throw. Of the 10 attempts, Rev,
3 screens.
3 screens, and then another 2 bubble routes, 3 yards beyond the line of scrimmage?
Yeah.
So I would say, what would you say, at least half the passing attempts up until this point have been at either behind or right in front of the line of scrimmage?
Behind the line of scrimmage. Yep. I agree.
Now, that to me is where maybe you think about the Joe Brady impact on this. Is this what is meant to be? Like, obviously on this play, this is the design. This is always going to Shakir. This is a screen. Now, before I let it play, I started to do this. Watch the throw on this. So why does the screen pass need to be thrown like this? Shakir barely is able to catch this ball.
So far ahead.
And he just makes a great play.
And unless Josh is trying to get around the arm of the defender, it looks like number 11, I think, I don't know if that's his number, but the defensive end there, he's crashing in, and Josh kind of tries to get in there. That's a good observation, yeah.
But,
so good catch
but it happens every time, whether the guy's there or not.
It does.
Where it just like this ball in real time, by the way, from the broadcast angle where it's closer up, this ball is whipped to Shakir. It's actually it's an underrated catch by Shakir. It really is.
It is. Yeah.
And Shakir is just so good in the open field. And, even though they were doing a ton of screens in this game, I will say I'm glad they were going to Shakir, Rev, and not Coleman the tight end. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
This is who you need to get the ball to, because he's so great once he gets the ball in his hands.
That makes me wonder, you asked the question about whether or not this is like a Brady thing here with the wide receiver screens. It makes me wonder if as an offensive coordinator, you're seeing Josh not hit guys, not see guys who are open down the field, but the only passes
designed to go to that
really hit are those screens. So just like, I've got to give my guy something that he can hit right now, and that seems to be all that Josh is able to do right now, because he's not seeing the field properly.
I'm glad you bring that up, because this play is a perfect example of that. It's 2nd and 3. Watch. Let me know if you notice anything on this one.
Go back, man. Yes, I've seen you've got multiple guys open. So he sends
Coleman is wide open the entire time.
Wide open.
So once again, when you walk away from the game, and where was Keon Coleman? This is now twice I think we've seen plays where Coleman has a chunk play, and you look at his game way differently if you hit him. Now granted, Rev, if it was 3rd and 3, I'm fine with this. Right? Because you're trying to move the sticks. Yeah. But it's 2nd and 3. And look at Allen's got all day. All day. He can literally stop, plant his foot. And dude, Coleman, look at the space here.
Coleman hits that. You hit Coleman. It looks like you almost already have a block with Shakir.
Yeah, so you do have a block with Shakir.
Shakir can block him right there at the 50. Coleman is running for 15, 20, probably 30 yards down the field.
The thing is, there was never any other read but Jackson Hawes on this. This was the only read. And it was almost as if this was meant to do that. This was the goal the whole time.
Come heck or high water, I'm throwing the ball to Jackson Hawes. And you had another defender who almost, if he wasn't kind of held, he almost would have tipped the ball.
Yeah, and it's honestly a difficult play. Like, he barely gets to the sticks.
Yeah.
I mean, this is one of those plays where I think you walk away and you think about Keon Coleman's impact on the game way differently. I mean, you can't. This is just, he's wide open. And if you want to say like, oh, well, Allen was already committed to the throw. No, not yet. Look, Allen's got the ball in his hands. Look at Allen's got the ball in his hands. And Coleman is wide open. This defender was never going to be tracking Coleman.
No, he's looking at Jackson Hawes the entire way. As soon as he broke from that play action, he was looking at Jackson Hawes. And even if Jackson was the first, I can't even really say he was the first read because it was a boot. So he might. So that side of the field seems to be where the reads go. High low again concept, but the low shouldn't be the first read. I just don't understand why he immediately went there. He's just missing again a lot of meat on the bone. Coleman is down the field like 30 yards.
And then when you leave the game, everybody's like, Keon Coleman, where is he? What's he doing? Like, the guy's wide open right here,
man.
And you look at his game differently. If you hit Coleman here, this isn't just a 10-yard completion. You mentioned it. Shakir's got the block set up. If Coleman's hit there and he keeps going towards the sideline with that block, what's that, ref? 30 yards, 25 yards?
Easily 25, 30 yards, easily. And all he has to do is make the safety miss, and he's gone down the middle of the field. Probably scores. But again, and I have to say my bad because I've been extremely critical on Keon Coleman as well, because you have these expectations of a guy who they clearly identified early in the draft, right? And they say here's my ex receiver. And he's coming in to replace, Amari Cooper or replace Stephon Diggs. And he's this big wide receiver who's going to, we know he's not going to really create a lot of separation, but he's this big 50-50 jump ball kind of guy. And you just expect him to just come off immediately as soon as he's drafted to perform well. And so expectations are already out the roof. And that he can't really separate that well. So when he's not performing as you want, he's an easy target. And so I admit that I've been targeting him like what the heck is going on with Keon Coleman? We need another guy outside. But clearly, when you take time and you analyze the game and you see that there are moments in which Joe Brady has schemed him wide open, and for whatever the reason, Josh is not even, I wouldn't say not just missing him. In many cases, he's not even looking his way.
And once again, like I said, if that's 3rd and 3, you're totally fine with it. You got to move the sticks. You need to get the first down. But you have the chance there to take the shot. And as we've seen repeatedly, there haven't been many shots taken. And it feels like the short game rev sets up these shots and they're not taken. Now we'll transition to this. This to me is the worst of all we'll watch here. This is late second quarter, 1st and 10. And this is the one in real time watching it where I remember thinking, I remember putting my head on my hand. I'm like, oh man, let's let it run through.
All right. So you get, what the heck was that, man? I remember that one too.
If he hits him on the break, so Elijah Moore comes out of his route, boom. Breaks this guy's ankles. Ankles are broken. So he's gone. If this is hit in stride, it's a touchdown.
And how many times have we seen Josh layer that ball right down in the bucket, right over the top of the linebacker, and boom. Look at that, man. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I was upset, man. I was like, I don't know what the heck this guy's doing today. Look at that. And look at his throwing motion. I mean, not his throwing motion. Look at how look at his feet. When he lets go of the ball.
Yeah, he's kind of lifting it up, right?
He's lifting his leg up. Yeah, he's just not his His stuff is off, man. It's
Oh
all the way
man,
off.
dude, if this is
Look at
just
that.
if this is even in catchable vicinity, it's a massive
Oh,
play.
man, he's gone.
And with Elijah
He's
Moore's
gone.
speed, he's gone.
That's the touchdown.
I mean,
man.
this isn't even close. It's just not even close. Now, once again, if this was a one-off, all right, you can't make every throw, but we have now watched however many throws, and this is now what, the third or fourth throw where it's not catchable.
Go back to it. Yeah, I want to see. That looks like Samuel on the top of the screen. Looks like he split the safety too. Let me see. Yeah. So even Samuel, if Josh, which he used to do this, he used to get, he used to look the safeties off. And so even if he looks the safety off going towards Elijah Moore, who's breaking there towards the 50, and then he just drops it in the bucket. Watch my man Curtis Samuel cross the face of the defender right here. And if Josh just throws it, it's wide open. He's a touchdown right there. Watch.
Reminds me of the touchdown he hit Gabe Davis
right
on in the divisional round against the Chiefs in the 13-second game.
Yeah.
The double move to get open in the middle. The one thing of note here, Josh Allen is standing upright. Look at this pocket.
Completely clean.
This is the thing to me that's the most concerning about it, is that this is happening in like pockets you don't even get in high school. You know what I mean? Like this is, you cannot get a better pocket.
Jeez, man. Oh, that's so frustrating because you would expect him to miss with defenders at his face and at his feet.
Absolutely.
But when he has a clean pocket like that and he's just completely missing guys off the target, like it makes you wonder, man, like what like where's his head? His mechanics are off. Something that's just, look at that. God. And then I look at the way I look at the body language of Curtis Samuel. Look how he just kind of
puts his head up in the air, frustrated.
Dejected. Because he knows he hasn't beat.
And once again, like when you win 40-9, who cares? But when you're playing the Chiefs and this is a touchdown and it doesn't work, and then you lose by 6, like
right. Because Mahomes is going to get his. These are opportunities that you can't miss in the passing game.
And what's just really killing me is these pockets, man.
Super clean pocket. Look at that. I mean, pick your poison, Josh. I mean,
you're pointing out something really good here, though, Rav. The leg.
Yeah. What is that, man? Like I could have sworn I've seen clips of him when he came out of college, how his body would kind of turn to the left after he threw the ball and his leg would lift up and just kind of whip around like that. Like his mechanics for some reason are off.
Like I would get it. Like I feel like he does that for velocity if you got to whip it, but this is a touch pass right here. This is a touch throw.
Just layer it.
Man, oh man. That one to me, ladies and gentlemen, was the one that
it had me floored, man.
When you combine everything else leading into this one, this is where it was like, this is when it hit me in this play. You're already almost a full half of the game in.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, dude, like he's just not on today. Like there's just no other way to put it. Okay, so now we are still late second quarter, 3rd and 6 on this one here.
Jeez, man.
And that last one,
so
that one was
Todd Johnson there. Mm-hmm. The emotion brings him back in. Looks like are they going to blitz? Yeah. No.
Okay, so this is one that I remember I noted here. What are you going to do? There is not a soul open. Watch all the routes develop. There is never anybody open on this play. There's just nobody open. Like there's
go back again. I got golly, that's awful, man. I have to see the pocket. Let me look at the pocket again. So you got.
I know where you're going. He did bail a little early. He did bail a little early, for sure. He didn't need to bail there.
Yeah, there's no need to bail.
Rev, even if he doesn't bail, like who's going to be open on this? It's completely covered. So this is why we're doing this, right? Because now we're noticing, right? How many times have we seen a short throw schemed up where it's like, man, Brady, I don't know if I love that there on 2nd and 8 where we're trying to gain 2 yards. We've seen Allen throw a couple of bad balls. Now we're also seeing some plays where, the wide receiver separation or maybe the scheme of the play, it's just not there. I mean, look at there's absolutely nothing. There's nothing.
Yeah, I think that was simulated pressure there because it looks like they only rushed 4. It looked like they had about 5 or 6 at the line. Play that back again. Yeah, there was nobody there, and which probably was the reason why Josh escaped because pre-snap you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like maybe 5 because you look like you get the linebacker right there, and then they only rush 4.
Yeah, so this is just one of those examples where there's just nothing. Good defense. What are you going to do? Throw it away.
Yeah.
And by the way, that doesn't mean just because a team plays good D doesn't mean that the receivers can't get open. Sometimes the defense just wins the play. You know what I mean?
And that's going to happen. Yeah. They get paid.
You can't look at that. Yeah, because we've seen more often than not, they are open. So it's just sometimes the defense wins the play. Okay. Here we are. So now we are at we are in the second half now. They only throw 6 balls. By the way, Allen only throws 6 passes in the second half. They scored 21 points in the third quarter. This is one of the 6. We are at the start of the second half, 2nd and 15 here on this one. And see, now I like this. When you're going to go short, I'm in on this. I mean, he's wide open with space all day. I love that.
Yeah. Against
so you're in 2nd and 15. Yeah, you make a third down way more manageable, right, Rev?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you even have James Cook out of the backfield. Boom. Quick. Yeah, I like it, man. Take the cheese right there.
And the mechanics are good on this throw, right? Like that's a perfect throw. And watch his throwing motion on this one. Clean pocket, and it steps forward, right on the money.
There it is.
Now, this is where, because I'm not, like, I know, like, it's easy to complain about the dinking and dunking. I don't dislike it necessarily. When it's like this, when it's justified, like this is the perfect read. Yeah. He's wide open. It's 2nd and 15. You're trying to make third down more manageable. That's exactly what you do. So I love that. And that's schemed open well.
Now, Coleman, look at Coleman flying by right behind that. So if Josh doesn't hit, he might. I don't know. That'd have been close because Coleman looked back. Watch Coleman on the top right there. He split the 2 defenders. He's looking back over. So I don't know, but that's a safe read right there. Just get the ball in the hands of Khalil Shakir quickly. Let him make something happen. Yeah, I like it.
The reason I like that is because on that play, you're trying to make third down easier. That's exactly what you do. Okay, this is the best pass play the Bills have had all year in terms of yardage. This is the Khalil Shakir touchdown. Now, mind you, Allen finishes with 160 in this game. So 12 and 19, 160 and a touchdown. You know, it looks pretty good, right? Based on how many attempts he had. 54 yards of it come on this play, and it's a 4-yard pass.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm just to give context, when you're looking at the numbers, like 50 yards of Allen's 160 come on this play, and this is a 4-yard pass. This is a great play by Shakir. It's a bad angle taken by the defender to try to tackle, and he makes him pay. Just a great play from Shakir.
Yeah, that's great.
He's fun to watch in the open field, man.
Oh, dude, he's the yak king, man. Anytime you can get the ball into his hands, you know he's dynamic, man, and he can make things happen like that.
Now, Rob, I will say, like, this does work out. Obviously, this is the best case scenario on this play, but once again, this is yet another play where it's designed to just gain 4 yards.
Yeah, I think at this point they're just trying to get the ball into the hand. It looks like there's a blitz, so you get the hot route. So you've got to get it into his hands quickly because you got the blitz coming. Boom, get in his hands, let him make something out of it.
Look at that burst off the cap. I mean, perfect, by the way, that is bad. This is bad defense. Like that's a terrible angle on that. Like a better defender.
Some of the stuff that we used to do.
I know. A better defensive play takes him on the inside there, and that's a 5-yard gain. You know.
Yeah.
But Shakir made him pay. That's all you can ask for. Make him pay.
Boom. And he's gone. He's gone for the races there at that point.
And great awareness there to back in.
Yep.
It's a great play from Shakir. Excellent. Shakir had his best game of the year on Sunday. I think he was six catches on 7 targets. And the thing is, if you're going to do the short passing like we talked about earlier, it needs to go to Shakir because he's the guy that can do this. Like if this short pass, Rev, were to be to Kincaid, like that's not going to be the result of the play.
No, absolutely not.
So you want to get him the ball in these moments because of the ability to do exactly this.
And see that's now if I were to have a complaint against Joe Brady, and even though we look at this, we've gone through all of these plays and we've seen multiple guys being open that Josh just misses. But when you have a guy like Khalil Shakir, and you just look what he does with the ball in his hands, we've seen it for years. I wonder why Joe Brady does not feature him more in the offense. Like Shakir should be your main guy. Like that should be where the ball goes. Move him around in space. Just move the ball. And I would almost, in a sense, I would force feed it to Shakir. I mean, you feature him and then move it off of everybody. Move it off of Shakir, and then maybe you look to Coleman or you look to Kincaid. But this guy right here, man, Shakir should have close to 100 balls every year.
Agreed. And they did emphasize him in this game. 7 targets. It does feel like there has been a lack of targeting for Shakir. They took advantage of his game in this one. And you love to see. I think you nailed that right there, 100%. Okay, so this one, we are at the 8:14 mark now of, I believe, the third quarter. Yeah, because they didn't do anything in the fourth quarter. So here we go. Play action. And I love that. See, this is a beautiful play.
Yeah.
Because this is all that's available, right? You play action and, Knox goes into his route. So that defender is right on Allen. And hey, Coleman wide open. And that's a great throw.
And he got it to him. Yep. Perfect.
See, that's a perfect play in every facet. Allen threw it perfectly. Wide open is Coleman. Once again, we've watched these. You can't tell me, as we've gone through, we only have a couple more. As we've gone through, more often than not, is the takeaway, Rev, like people are open more often than not.
People are open. They may not be who we want, or, it may not look the way we want. But at the end of the day, Joe Brady seems to be scheming some guys open, and Josh has to make the proper read. Look at that. Love that.
See, that's the thing. If you're going to run these plays, I love that because you have him isolated, right? He's one-on-one on the right side here, man coverage. I love that.
Yes, immediately. And haven't we seen, and I think I saw it last night, Aaron Rodgers doing this to DK Metcalf a couple of times.
Yeah.
Fooling him off the line, thinking that, and then he just immediately catches him off the line in a quick slant.
And I also like that this is under center too, because the Bills run so much under center. They're probably assuming they're going to run the ball here. They do. I like that. Not all short passing is bad. I genuinely do like their short passing game. And that's a great, the last few are great examples. The guys are wide open. And there's nothing wrong with short passing when you're getting 7-8 yards of pass. What I don't like, Rev, is when you're throwing into double coverage and it's 3 yards off the line of scrimmage. That's what I don't like. Plays like that, you'll do that all day long until you get down into the end zone. There's no reason not to.
Absolutely not. I mean, we saw Tom Brady make a career out of it, dinking and dunking all the way to the field, down the field.
And now here's an example where it doesn't always work. You're another screen to Shakir. So this is now his fourth screen?
Fourth screen, yeah.
Now look at, this feels like this should work. The blocking just gets beat. It just collapses.
And I think by that time, the defenders were sick of it.
You're probably right. Yeah. How many times can you get beat on the screen in the game until you're just playing the screen?
Yeah.
But the whole secondary was over on that thing. The blocking was set up. If they were able to land those blocks, maybe a bit better, but it just collapsed. Didn't work out. What are you going to do? They had so much success on that play in this game. You can't expect to hit a home run on it every time. So, you chalk that one up. Now, here's a play. I love this one from Allen. Underrated play because it's the one time, Rev, maybe in the whole game where the pass rush got home. Watch how Allen takes advantage of it. This is vintage Josh Allen here. Pass rush is in. Nope, no, it's not. I mean, that's beautiful. Yes. That is beautiful.
I actually thought that he was going to take off on that play.
And I'm glad he didn't because he noticed how wide open Hawes is in the middle of the field. I mean, look at he's parked there. It's a perfect play.
And shout out to Jackson Halls, the the no catching, blocking tight end who's shown exceptional hands, for a guy who's just only known to be a blocking tight end.
Yep. He has definitely had a couple of moments, that being one of them. And just like that, folks, that is every single pass attempt by the Buffalo Bills from Josh Allen before Mitch Trubisky came in the game. So I think what we can take away from this, Rev, guys are getting open.
Guys are getting
open. Keon Coleman isn't sucking his thumb the whole game. No. Hey, honey.
I think we might.
Hey. Wife just came home from a long day at the office, Rev.
Tell I say what's up.
Sure? Look at the shirt.
At that. Oh, man, look at that baby bump.
Halloween ghost.
Wow, look at that. Ghost.
We got
man, how excited can you guys be?
We're so excited. 2 weeks from today, Rev. Okay, what is that?
That's gorgeous. That's amazing, man.
God, that smells so good.
What was that?
Cake pop. You ever had those?
Oh yeah, absolutely. God, cake pop, man. Dude, I'll tell you right now, man. Those pastries, anything like that, bro. That's my weakness.
Dude, our family friend makes these chocolate covered Rice Krispie treats, and oh my God. I keep seeing the chat, by the way. They keep asking who Emma is. Emma's my sister-in-law. So I think people are wondering if it's the baby or the cat. No, it's my sister-in-law. They want to watch the game, which we will here in a second. The Chiefs are about to kick off, or probably just did, against the Commanders for Monday Night Football. Before we wrap things up, we got a couple super chats. Mr. Clayton coming in. Nothing beats a game where you can casually watch, get various chores done around the house. My spouse was shocked by my ability to multitask when the Bills are on. Love it. Killing two birds with one stone, Clayton. You're making the wife happy, and you're making yourself happy. Watching the Bills dominate. I love it. Those are the type of games, where you can watch out of the corner of your eye. When Mitch Trubisky comes in, Rev.
Oh, yeah.
You can start cleaning up around the house a little bit.
Yeah, it's a good day it's a good day at the job, man, when Mitch comes in. Yep.
Christian's coming in. He's saying, welcome back, Rev. Good to see you. He missed you. We're so happy Rev was able to join us this evening. Rev, I think we did I'm glad we were able to do that. So what do you think our biggest takeaways can be from what we just walked through there in terms of, breaking down each and every pass attempt in the football game?
Yeah, so we have things that we can build upon. I would say this, that maybe we can, as a collective, pump the brakes a little bit on Joe Brady and Keon Coleman. Myself included. Let me start with myself, because we've seen this, and I'm looking at them like, well, there's guys open. Josh is not looking at him. So I think the scheme is working. Josh just needs to do better. He needs to do better, because if his eyes are right and he sees he's making the right reads, those are completions, and we would not even be talking about this. So I have hope that the passing offense can get better. How much better is still to be determined, because it's kind of hard when you're missing a guy like Joshua Palmer, who can kind of stretch the field a little bit more. But and we'll see what that looks like next week against the Chiefs. But I am feeling a little bit better now that we took the time to actually go through the tape. I can breathe. Let's build upon this, man. Running the ball is who we are, but when the passing opportunities present themselves, Josh has to take he has to take the right read, make the right read, and we'll be just fine. So that's kind of where I am at it right now.
I'm in complete alignment with you, because I think if there was an issue you wanted to have, it would be that Josh Allen might be missing some guys, because that he's capable of hitting those guys. If the issue was we just watched 19 attempts and on 17 of them nobody was open, I don't think you're going to be able to correct that. Yeah. I think that just is what it is, but that's not the case. If the most fixable element here is Josh Allen getting the ball to guys and making a couple of better throws, then I'm confident in their ability to turn this thing around. So I think that's probably the best case scenario. I really do. So I think that it was good that we went through and looked. And I think the takeaway we can have here is that it's more than just one thing. There's some times where the wide receivers aren't open. There's sometimes where Allen's just not making the right look or not the right throw. There's other times where maybe the play wasn't the best call in that situation. It does seem to be collective here, but what do we got?
Sorry, man. Don't read the chat, man. Yo, there's some stuff going on in the chat, man, about why Josh could be missing guys and all that. Yeah. I'm just gonna leave it at that, man. Don't show anything. But
Chat's wilding out on a Monday. They're trying to get after Monday Night Football, as are we, before
oh man, yo, that's crazy.
we send it on over and watch the Chiefs
wow.
hopefully lose. Can the Commanders pull off
on,
an
man.
upset tonight?
An
That would
upset?
be awesome.
Hey, I'm loving it.
We'll go check that out. Before we do, let's give a shout out to my friends over at Sleeper. The lines are already up for week 9. Let's craft one up real quick. We got Baltimore at Miami on Thursday night. Lamar Jackson more than likely going to be back. So let's craft up a slip. Let me get Derrick Henry in the end zone in this game.
They're going to blow him out.
Yeah, I think that Miami's coming off the win, right? They're feeling good. I think Baltimore with Lamar, they're going to put him back in his place. So we're going to have Derrick Henry against that rush D that's not great. We're going to have Derrick Henry get in the end zone. Let's look at Lamar. Let's give Lamar more than 35.5 rushing yards. I know he's coming off that injury, but I think he's going to be able to run against this defense. And then
I don't think they run him.
You want to go less? Let's go less then.
Yeah,
I think you might. Less. That's a good point. That's a good point. I'm glad you said that. Yeah. Let's go less because maybe we think because the Miami rush D isn't great that they would, but then they hit him with the other end and they don't end up rushing him, especially coming off that injury. So I think that's a good point. Let's go less on that. And then we'll throw in, let's see here. We'll give Tyler Loop more than 1.5 field goals made. That's our slip for Thursday night football. Why not? 3.9 is the multiplier on that one if you want to tell it or create your own, of course. Click the link in the description below and sign up for Sleeper. Once you do, you will get a 100% match up to $100 on your first deposit using the promo code BF25. And before you even make your first deposit and create an account, you will get an instant $20 free play to use. So you sign up, boom, free $20 to try out Sleeper. You can use it on the Thursday night game or any of the games in week 9 or all the other sports. Today, by the way, is the sports equinox. We currently have the World Series on, NHL hockey, NBA basketball, and NFL football. So you can use that on all 4 of the major sports. Links in the description below. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently available in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper via the link in the description below today. All right, Rev, that's going to do it. Let's go watch the Chiefs hopefully get upset by the Commanders. As it stands right now, Washington has the football, and it's the first quarter, 10 minutes left. Mariota threw an interception
already,
and the Chiefs have the ball. Yep, Mariota on his 4th pass attempt, Rev. Interception. So I got a feeling we might go and watch.
It's going to be one of those. It's going to be
one of them. But we're going to go watch nonetheless. Rev, I can't thank you enough for hopping on. It was a pleasure yesterday. It was a pleasure tonight. And I say we just keep on doing this. We'll certainly be having Rev on more and more often as Rev's free and able to join. I know everybody loved seeing you, as did I. So we'll look forward to having you on again real soon. Hopefully talking more W's here in the near future. Anything you got for the folks before we sign off?
More big dubs, baby. No, man. I might post something here. I don't know. I want to wait until the Chiefs game before I get on and drop a little something else, man. But I'm just so glad to be back here with you again, man. I love getting back in the mix. Miss you guys, man, dearly. And so anytime I get a chance to hop on, man, I'm down. And I miss you guys, all the people in the chat. Appreciate you, man, showing love. Am I back? We'll see.
We'll see. But in the meantime, I'm glad you were back tonight.
Yes, sir.
I know the chat was. So much love to you, Rev. Much love to the 1,200 plus of you who joined us here on a Monday night to recap Bills, Lions. We look forward to talking to you later in the week as we get ready for the game of the year, as it is every year, Bills, Chiefs in week 9. So we will be talking throughout the week. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy Monday Night Football. We'll talk soon. Much love as always, and go Bills.